like kill everyone and torch the house and get out of there.
Kill everyone, torch the house, get out of there.
Yep.
See, you'd hate that if you ever did that with someone who actually had like a horrible secret, and they were like, well, I suppose I have no choice now but to kill you.
There's that old quote from Oscar Wilde when he says that he sent a telegram to all of his friends that read, "Flee! Everything is discovered," and all of them left town immediately.
Yeah.
Wow.
Legend.
Pretty good.
So, how is everybody today?
I don't know.
You don't know?
How are you?
I am fine.
No.
Just fine.
Me host you.
Good. Do that.
Let's do it.
Where's our resident dark soul of destiny?
He's here.
Your destiny is undone, sir.
Ah!
That is dark.
A dark path lies ahead.
And full of terrors.
And souls.
No, it's full of Celocrypt.
Man, I'm only
say
half
that.
ready for today.
Yeah.
Like,
The only terror is a Celocrypt.
note-wise, I'm perfectly ready. But emotionally, I'm not sure if I am.
It's gonna be fine, man. Like, some people are gonna have some tough shit, but Shadowrun is the kind of game where an epilogue can indeed be, and then they walk into the sunset and
And
into
then
the
they
furthering of the sixth world. We know what the shit that goes on here. Maybe there's more adventures. We don't have to close the case, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I suppose really we should just get into it. I mean,
Sure.
I think,
I've made a program.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it's really just a text document, with, like some lines of text. So it's not that fancy.
You're not gonna get like a printed thing.
We're not going to get a handout.
Schedule overlapping.
I've got a
There's
printer.
a multi-singing piece with different voices. So we'll have to just do a voice toning to see
They're
who's
quiet.
deeper, you know.
Oh man, what would
There's
have been
an
the best
Electra,
would be
and
if
it's
you're
a-
like, I'm gonna fax it all to you now, and we'll be like, what?
Fax it all.
I sent it to you.
No, it comes in the mail. You know, it's like when we go to a fancy theater when you get like a program. You're like, oh. In the third act, and it's like a picture of like Malachi with a thumbs up. You know, and
You
Game
get
Master
fancy
Malachi will-
mails at the theater?
yes, you get like a fancy program
Yeah. You
in
know,
the theater.
yeah.
Yeah, next
It's
to
like,
the theater.
this is what's going to happen in this period. And then during these times, you're going to have a break.
And
then
here's
you're
the different
back in.
actors and some thoughts from the actors, what they think about
Yeah.
things.
Okay,
Turns out
I-
old-timey people
Okay,
didn't care about
I think
spoilers.
I need to explain that I thought of program on your phone.
Oh, no. As
Now
in,
I
like,
just realized you meant a piece of paper.
Yeah,
sweet
it's-
summer child.
it's basically like from like 7 p.m. you'll be sat down
Well, I
for the
knew-
show.
I knew that. It's because once I went to the cinema, and I was
That's
walking
always
by. I was walking by
We'll be right back.
a strip, and then suddenly my phone was like beep 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 beep. We can see you're walking past this strip in the theater. Do you want this? Then you can get a free drink in the theater, and not theater, the cinema. And I was like, oh, cool.
See, just like,
Please
fuck yeah,
identify
free drink.
yourself so we can associate this number with...
I didn't, because there's always something about, and then you have to pay for the fries. It's not.
Hello,
I didn't even
custom.
order fries.
Okay.
How did you like the coat you bought yesterday? Here
So,
you go.
I thought
is the
that
thing we're
the
doing now.
theater had become,
Sentient.
cool.
Well, I am ready. I am streaming. I am recording.
Alright, well, I have made some thoughts, and I put them in a text document, and I'm going to say them now so that you can have an idea of what my thoughts are.
Okay.
All right.
So to start us up, usually good to start with some thought like characters sitting on the couch. Something doesn't really work here. Bit of a different situation.
Slightly.
So instead, I simply had the thought of like, we did a character description at the beginning of the game. Let's have one now. When all the stuff that has happened, and we'll do that by discussing like basically say in short who your character is, and include in that your traumas, because you all have some now. Then describe your mugshot. I thought that would be interesting. Like, what does it look like? Did it beat you up? Like, what kind of prison did you go to? But just like that quick, that sort of image that they took of your face, or with a whole like little sign or something. Then next thing is that I will tell people mainly stuff that I wrote to you guys in a document, so that they can be up to speed, so to speak, because you guys know, because I thought you guys should know to think about things, but they don't, and I'll tell them, and maybe you guys didn't read it. You can never be sure that people read the stuff you make, so.
I read it.
Oh, good.
You told me, you said, because I was like, are we gonna get anything? And you're like, yeah, I sent it on Skype. I was like, I don't use Skype anymore.
I've lost it now.
You sent me something?
Find it again.
There was a document in this campaign.
It's a whole thing.
I read it.
I read it too.
It's fine, but I will read it for you, so that if you didn't, then it doesn't really matter.
Oh my god, it's just
fine.
like back
I'm
in
opening it
school,
on
even
the
though we
stream.
did our homework.
I'll let you guys know now. I was the student in school that never did homework.
Why do you think we play role-playing games, Halldamir?
And I was, in fact, I was so bad at doing homework that every time I got homework, my grades would dip. So they stopped giving me homework. It was wonderful.
That's a good way to keep the grade average up.
My grades were great.
After I've done that, you guys will give your epilogues. Tell us what your characters, where your characters went, and what became of them. Then after that, I will tell you what happened to the notable characters, mainly being contacts. The ones that are not in your epilogues anyway. After that, I thought we would have a small discussion, just talking about favorite moments, favorite NPC, like a special mission you liked, and that sort of things, and then round off with that, really.
I need to go to the toilet, I just realised. 1 second.
All right, well, I guess we'll just hang around for a little bit.
Well done.
I have read that document. I'll just point that out. I have. I read it when you put it up. That's why I said that I was sad about it.
Yeah, no, I mean...
I do care, Manikai. I do. I promise.
It's fine, you don't have to. I mean, I understand that this is what people call a low investment game, right?
I've put my heart and soul into it, Manikai. Heart and soul.
Soul. Say that again for me. Only Tina will get that.
Why would you do that? There's this serial killer who kept telling me.
You're muted though, so they can't really hear you.
Yeah, all we hear you in the background is
I like this better
the
though.
pain. Yeah.
I like the mystery.
No, you have to know it's not weird. We were watching Sherlock Holmes, and then there was a serial killer who was gonna kill him, and he was like, tell me how you feel. And he's like, I don't want to die. And he's like, say it again. I don't want to die. Say it again, please.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Mm.
Yeah, and Manica just did the impression, and I was like, oh, that's gross.
It was perfect though.
It was perfect, but it was so gross. I told you.
Sometimes you gotta take the shot, press the big red button and whatnot.
And that's why you didn't get the button.
Yeah.
That's why I got it.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, Doc.
The biology issue has been fixed.
I'm eating, so.
Fair enough.
Man, it's been a busy day.
So, guys, let's get this show rolling.
Shadowrun.
We have plenty of time, though, so I suppose we don't have to, but I think we should. Yeah. So, who wants to go first? If anyone wants to start this off, feels that they can adequately tell us who's your character, what are your problems, and what does your mugshot look like? say this is a TV show, the intro here would be seeing them all like, right? So we get like a quick image of what does it look like?
I would like to go first because it's not very different from what it is.
All right, tell us. What does your mugshot look like? Who are you?
I'm True Warrior. I guess if I don't know how would she have been at the hospital before going to jail?
Oh no!
Oh,
Please.
then she would be sitting in a chair, being the fact that she can't move at all except her arms, and holding up that plate that says her name and date and all that. And she looks very tired and very beat. I don't have any flaws.
I suppose you don't.
Well,
It doesn't have to be the mugshot right after you got taken. They could have waited some time, but
The others weren't conscious. They just
So-
put a plate on them and took a picture.
Halldamir, will you tell us?
all right. Well, I'm Vice, obviously. Everyone knows me as Vice. And in her picture, she is a bit battered and bruised. With some grazes and cuts, but nothing too serious like Shu. But as an oddity, she almost looks pleased with the result. As if this is a change that could be for the better. Ever the optimist, of course.
All right, seems pleased to be there. Perhaps something that didn't last.
Oh God, no. She,
Jonas?
Sure. I played the character of Dr. Conrad Gottfried Ziegler, codename Sovereign. He was the rigger of the group with droids, Plank and Warburg. Never got a third one. But probably would have named it after a German scientist as well, like the other two. Yeah, his mugshot is the mugshot of a man that has been through a lot. Haggard. He has a lot of like shrapnel scars in his face because a helicopter basically blew up on him. So like half his face is just this. It's a fucking mess. He is either scarred for life, or if he can get some really fancy correction surgery going, I don't know, maybe. I haven't decided yet if he actually does that, or if he just replaces half of his face with a metal plate, go all in robot.
fucking metal.
Yeah, a man that has obviously led a very hard life. And is going to continue to do so, even if he seems broken. In the picture, there is a steely, hungry wolf glint in his eyes, and the promise that he is not done. This is not the end for him, and he will find out who did this to him, and they will make them pay. Oh yes, he will. Yes, he will.
And the spider.
So this is a mugshot before we go to prison, or it could be one from later on, pop it after we've gotten out already from prison.
You tell us.
In which case, this one is dated later than everyone else's. Possibly a reconviction later. Who knows? This mugshot shows that of a fair-skinned woman, though a long, lacerated scar across her cheek, though attempted to be covered by long hair. No longer dyed quite the same as it was before. Her hair just pure black now, jet in that way, and out the sides, though it doesn't seem to quite line up perfectly, though something slightly wrong. What appears to be elven ears slightly poke out of the hair.
Well,
She is a woman who, in the shot, has this almost vicious, slightly bloodthirsty, almost, smile on her face. A look to, well, maybe a maverick look. Almost desiring more.
If we had to guess,
Her psych profile notes she's afraid of flying.
if we had to guess, what kind of crime is she in for now? From the look of her.
Given her current state, it probably involved fire.
Alright.
A few minor burns on her, but nothing major.
Ever the anarchist soul.
Like rebellion.
It's an age of rebellion. So, the information I sent to you, I will read it up for people and for you. To give a bit of context to your own tales of woe and loss and whatnot afterwards. It is in regards to the events of Berlin, the month after you were taken. The state of Berlin is much changed from what it was before you were all taken. Your mission was a success, and because of you, the Eastern Wall was breached. The gangs and hopefuls of the East quickly moved to the West, making a flow that could not be stopped. As revenge atrocities began to spread in the West, the state of emergency was escalated, and helicopters evacuated important personnel from the entire city, not just the center. This took about 2 weeks. Then, as the last helicopter left the city, on a night that seemed unremarkable, several small strike teams infiltrated the city. These were a combination of highly paid freelancers and Cedar-Krupp Dragoon teams, to be completely honest. Their mission was to direct artillery fire and airstrikes and to do maximum damage to bug cultists, rogue robots, eastern gangs, and general insurgents. No local teams were available for the mission, as none were trusted to keep it secret and quiet, as such collateral damage was very high. This lasted for a single day before the infiltration teams moved to designated safe spots and secured them. When this was done, the quarantine lines set up outside the city began to narrow in. They crossed the city border and moved slowly, taking out problems as they encountered them. The move began with the detonation of the eastern side of the eastern wall. For the second time, removing the divide between the east and the west. As the worst of the large gangs and organizations of the East had taken the chance to move west and had thereby been targeted by artillery, there was little organized resistance when Cedar-Krupp army forces moved in. The front was narrowed further. Step by step, they have been reclaiming the city. When a major target is found, artillery and strike teams soften the target before the army arrives. Currently, the outer rim of the city has been completely pacified, while the city center is in a state of anarchy and war. Cedar-Krupp has released a statement stating that they regret the loss of civilian life in the events of Berlin, further stating that they would have acted sooner to prevent them had they been given the authority to do so. Cedar-Krupp's heroic effort continues, and we can only speculate as to the exact deal the future of Berlin agreed upon by the German government and Cedar-Krupp officials. Though it will soon become very clear that Cedar-Krupp certainly has won out quite heavily on it. Who wants to start by telling us how their characters have fared now that they've left prison?
I think I would like to go first.
Okay. You just say what you will, and you have all the time you need.
Alright.
You have the floor.
Wonderful. So, after Vice is released from prison, she doesn't really waste much time. She heads home, she packs her clothes, and slowly yet methodically gets ready to leave. But before she does so, she leaves a note taped to the TV that says, "Dear Night Shift, I've had enough of running. Our last mission went well and dumb luck struck us down. I think I'm going to take up Mr. Zitlan's offer and join him in Asland. I'll be probably running a few things with him, and we'll see how that goes. A deal with a dragon is dangerous, but maybe a feathered serpent's a bit different. I guess I'll find out. I'll try and keep in contact if you want to stay in contact, that is. Should be easy enough to find me. Love to you all, Daimara. P.S. There is roughly 30 vodka bottles scattered around. Feel free to take them, or the all. The next Shadowrunners that hold up here can have the rest." And then you don't hear or see anything from her for quite some time. A few months, perhaps. And then she starts popping up on TV. In things about Aztec. She has a new look, a new name. She goes by Aveline Vicentry. And after seeing her on TV for a while, it's maybe about a year or so, and Vice starts appearing more and more frequently on TV wherever Aztec seems to be concerned. And shortly after, maybe a month or two, there's reports of huge deforestation in northern Brazil. Complete areas stripped barren. And then Vice appears on local news outlets as a spokesperson for Aztec, saying along the lines of, "Aztechnology regrets this horrific destruction of forests of northern Brazil, and alongside Aztechnology will find the people responsible and bring them to justice. And efforts will be made to secure the region and bring an end to this disaster." Of course, this is quickly cut to an advert for the new teen pop idol from Akas's world tour. Vice then lives out her life in comfort as a very high-ranking official in Aztechnology. Though while she spends her days in front of cameras, she looks at night across the seas to try keep in contact with each and every one of you, using old names and old codes. And if she does find you, of course, trying to keep in contact. And what this basically means is she helped Mr. Zitlan get a firmer hold upon Aztechnology, using technology he created with our aid, of course, in securing a very dominant position. And if she was able to scavenge Jade Monkey, if he didn't die in the explosion, she would probably keep him around.
So, yeah, I think if anyone has questions, now would be a great time to ask them.
I would like to add, that is so sweet.
Go, Jade Monkey.
Jade Monkey friendship.
So is Vice the same person, or did she undergo some sort of like personality correction stuff that
No.
that Aztec does from time to time?
No, not at all. She's exactly the same person. All she went through is some minor reconstructive surgery to make herself look slightly different. Although she didn't want to change too much. You know, new sin and all, it's very difficult to get a new sin with the same face. And she's completely sober, so maybe she looks a bit better.
Oh, I see.
A year of the drugs being stuck in prison will do that.
Yeah.
I imagine we also saw that maybe in her mugshot that she looked pretty horrendous
Oh
from
yeah,
a few days without any fix.
yeah. I can't imagine she looked great. No, but yeah, she never went back to it. She lived her life in great comfort, being paid large amounts, but never
Did she have
quite.
any? Did she have any moral scruples working for S Technology, being part of the more important group within it, probably knowing of quite horrific things going on?
Um, in the beginning, probably she had a few moral qualms, but then, she's done some horrible stuff herself. Done some, war crime grenades have been used around her, and she's done some horrible things. Who's she to judge? And after a while,
Can't judge a blood mage.
well, yeah.
Someone's got to drink all this honey and milk that flow from the rituals and whatnot.
Yep, it's true. It's true.
All right.
Someone's got to take up.
Might as well be her.
Yeah, exactly. She might as well get all the money.
All right. Come back to it. Does anyone else want to tell us what happened to your character?
I suppose I could go.
All right.
Yeah. Sovereign Siegler. After the stint in prison, he didn't really return to Berlin. If anyone came back to the hideout, like after he had been there, most of the workshop and stuff had been, like the most essential stuff was gone. Specifically, the collection of like storage drives he had in the back that were very secure with booby traps and everything. Those specifically were gone, as were some of his favorite tools and the droids. If they wasn't exploded or destroyed in the explosion, might also have been signs of him building new droids in the workshop before he left. This probably took most of his resources he had at that place. But he might also have left a little note, either the note was already on the workshop door, or it was pinned like underneath Weiss's note, where it was basically like saying along the lines of, I am also done with this, I'm done with Berlin, fuck this city, I will be out of town for a while. I have not forgotten what happened to us. I am convinced we were betrayed. I will find those responsible. I will make them pay. If you want to come in contact with me, seek out Kayan or seek me in Wales, basically. And then might be some sort of old address or something to reach him on if someone wanted. But yeah, basically, Sovereign took what stuff he had in his workshop, built new droids to bring with him. And took the Deus data he still had, the missing piece of the AI, and brought that to his contact Kayan in Wales, and used that as a bargaining chip to basically pay his way into Wales, because the data was sensitive and rare and dangerous and very sought after by the people in Wales. So, yeah, using that as a bargaining chip, he got a free pass in there and into their AI research circles, basically, where he spent most of his time after that. Although his computer skills improved with time, they were never on par with like Azure Webs or something like that. He was more put in charge of building like combat chassis, droids, and things like that for the Wales. Is it a republic? I'm actually unsure.
It is a knighthood.
A knighthood. All right. Basically, building and upgrading the mechanical fleet of the knighthood of Wales. Droids, battle armors, weapons, new technologies, research, stuff like that. Keeping his hands dirty for sure. Working with the machines, flying, being the pilot, all of the stuff that he was good at. He only got better in Wales, and I imagine they profited quite greatly from him, and he became, even in the end, managed to become a citizen and a knight of Wales for extraordinary contributions to the knightdom's security and technological superiority against its enemies. It did, his arrogance certainly grew from all of this. Having gone over the incident in his mind, the fatal crash, he was sure that he did everything right. It simply wasn't his fault. It wasn't an error on his end that caused all of this to happen. It was the trap, and the trap was so set up that it was just simply perfect. Like, someone knew his flying pattern, someone knew this, someone betrayed him, and the longer he stays away from Berlin, the more he obsesses over this and starts financing basically Shadowrun teams to try to find out who did it, who set them up, so he can find that person and exact vengeance, which becomes a growing obsession for him as the years go by. He never speaks to his wife again, although he keeps an eye on his daughter from afar. Make sure that she gets into the right colleges and like the right scholarships and stuff like that. Uses his different connections that he still has to pull the strings for her from afar. She never knows that he's doing this, but he keeps an eye on her, trying to protect her the best he can. Does he ever find the people that set them up or betray them? I don't know. Maybe this was a figment of his imagination. Maybe there weren't any betrayal at all, actually. It is hard to say. But there is a lot of people who get killed off as a result, certainly. Sovereigns kill teams, usually enhanced with long-range like bots and high-tech electronical and mechanical like warfare equipment. Are quite the scourge in Berlin for years to come, as they seek out, well, whoever Ziegler thinks is responsible, basically. The stylized, some of the rigor circles also like after time wants to get hands on Ziegler tech. Which is the cutting edge of robotics, and the Dr. Z mark becomes a mark of quality and experimental like use among the young hip riggers who want the Nova hot stuff, and that is like the legacy of Sovereign, really. I might come up with more stuff as it goes on here, but that is basically what I had.
All right. Does he ever? So he never tires of his vengeance. Just drives him sort of forever as an obsession.
Yeah, it drives him as an obsession. He is sure that he didn't do anything wrong. Everything was perfect. It was perfectly executed. He did not do this. There is someone else here, and it certainly becomes an obsession for him for years. I don't know if it becomes that forever, but for 5 to 10 years at least, this is something he obsesses over.
It flares up whenever a new lead
exactly appears. It's a case that is constantly like chugging along in the background, and he spends so many creds on this over the years.
All right. Yeah.
So what happened to your wife?
Well,
did she die in Berlin, or did something happen?
No, she is tough. She is as a bug queen. You can't just kill her with artillery.
Did she end up ruling the bugs?
You can't kill her with artillery.
In Ziegler's mind, she's certainly mean enough to do it. But no, she becomes the section chief of concrete reconstruction in the efforts of rebuilding Berlin after the bombardments, rising in the ranks quite a bit, in a job that is so boring that Ziegler would die in like one day working it, probably. But she is certainly bringing in the money and living a good life, probably with a trophy husband, a toy boy or something.
Ezekauer in the chat asked a really good question that I was kind of wondering. Does he ever, for a moment, think that maybe one of the night shift betrayed the team?
Yes, he would have thought of Azure Web as the most likely candidate to do it, but probably after looking into it extensively for a year or two, concludes that she did not. Might even have been a fraught meeting face to face with each of the members, where he's suddenly you're out getting a hot dog or something, and then just suddenly, a van pulls up, black van, and just droids come out, like all the guns pointed. You're just like, get in.
With like a news drone next to you, like
Exactly.
suddenly,
I love that
when you
mental
do that
what
to,
do you know of the event?
Exactly.
when you do that to True Wars, he's gonna be like, you better have brought more than 5 people.
Oh, but
Because
Shoe
she will
Warrior
be
is-
really. If he did that, she'd be like, oh, okay.
I like.
No,
So
Shu is
you-
the least likely candidate. She's too honorable to do any of that.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
Yeah,
it's
but you
not
know,
even-
she would still be. If you did that, she'd be like, oh, okay. I'll just
It would
go
be
with you.
probably be for Shu. It would probably be he would just sit down next to her in a restaurant or wherever she hangs out.
Did you betray me? No. Well,
Alright.
okay.
Farewell.
I'll pay for the meal.
And then just leave again.
Yeah. I've got the mental image of these
Gotcha,
droids
yeah.
showing up in Aslan and Vice being like, Ziegler?
And there's like a
That
there's
is my
a bus.
secretary.
Yes.
It's like, there's tech here? This must be Ziegler, surely.
Yes.
Like, well, we've got a problem now. There's all spirits around.
It's like the old head of Plank, but like all guns and wings now.
Could Vice buy a Plank 5.0 from you?
I mean, yes.
A trophy plank.
A trophy Plank?
Of course. As I said, Ziegler Tech becomes
Put it on my tab.
the hot thing in underground circles.
It's okay. I can meld it with things. With spirits. It'll be my new bodyguard.
Yeah, it cooks tea and makes popcorn as well.
Oh yeah. So it does
Yeah.
all of that, and when a spirit comes by, it blasts it out the fucking sky.
Yeah.
Who needs Jaguar
That's the
warriors?
thing.
Yeah.
Would you get yourself one of those intelligent Jaguar companions?
Oh god, yeah. Oh,
All the top Aztec people have them.
Vice would have all of the fancy
true.
stuff. One of her vices is creature of comfort. So I think she would get everything that makes her life better.
Well, that's what Aztechnology specializes in.
Exactly. Her place is going to be pimped out. She gets
Do you
paid
know
enough.
how soft kitten fur is?
Ooh, kitten fur jacket.
Beds and pillows.
Yeah. But yeah, I
In
think
the
Vice is
blood
paid
mines
enough.
of Peru.
So does Ziegler stay in? Because Vice would try to keep in pretty solid contact. Would Ziegler return the contact?
Yes.
Pen
He would
pals.
be.
Hmm.
He would be fine enough to keep contact with his old friends.
Pen
should
pals
I
across
wish
the sea.
it. After he has interrogated them and concluded that they did not trade.
Would it be friends or more contact at that point?
Hmm.
Would he trust her, being a highfalutin person for Aztechnology?
I mean, I don't know. She seems very different to Sovereign, and he would keep in contact. It would be friendly. It would not be intimate friendship. Like, he wouldn't tell her his deep secrets and stuff. But from time to time, they might meet up and have lunch.
She flies out to Wales.
There's
He
like
flies
a seminar on robotics in Iceland. You know.
Vice flies
At
over
the,
just
at
because.
the same time, it's like the Iceland Fashion Week, and like Vice is there, so like they'll meet up.
We're sat at a restaurant, not at the same table, but we look at each other from across.
Yes, and we just nod.
Oh, we just know.
Like
We'll say
Batman
nothing.
and Alfred.
Exactly. Batman and Alfred, we just know.
While
That
Vice is
everything is
being
alright.
waited on waited on by like 10 guys, and
Yeah, 10 supermodels basically, and Ziegler sits there with a cup of black coffee and a cigarette.
It's a great view. Great image in my mind.
It's very diverse restaurant.
He can afford it, I'm sure.
At least now he can.
Now he can, yeah.
With friends in high places.
Vice doesn't pay anything. Yeah. It's got the company that pays for things.
It's a gold company card.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those cards that you just show to people and they go, alright, we know who that's going to.
Oh, you own this place, fine. So, there's another 2 to go. Who wants to not go last?
Tina, do you want to go, or?
You go, man.
All right, if that's what, if you don't want to go.
I have to go right now.
For the others, for all of the others, when they got there, regardless of who got there first, as part of actually security protocols, when they got there, all of the base's computers seem to have erased themselves. All the data gone and replaced with only one symbol, which is that of a spider with a sword for its chest.
Oh.
Oh no! Like
And that is all. And that's all that's left of all of her data, seemingly erased a time after Ashley never logged in.
Did a spider commit harakiri?
Possibly.
Oh
Or spider?
Dishonorable! I have been captured.
Dead, I imagine.
If anyone went to the base maybe a month after everyone's releases, then not only that, but her room is then dead empty and the electronics scrapped. Ashley did not do well after she got out. After proceeding to get beaten up by the various, well, I say beaten up, partly, though she was strong enough to hold back herself for some of it. She got mixed in quite a lot with a lot of elves when she was in prison, which definitely seemed to have helped shaped her kind of, not a change, but a rebirth, perhaps, of Ashley. Things have changed significantly for her. Equally, after about a month after Ashley is released, people will find all the information about Ashley, even her own blog dating back years and years worth of corrupting data, all vanishes from the net. Every last drop of it, as if she never existed in the first place. All of the things she ever put up there, all of her fame mongering gone. And equally, no notes for you guys. She doesn't make contact. She doesn't give a damn enough to give contact. She just disappears. In that regard, from all of you, becomes a ghost in the network. As it comes to Ashley, well, she underwent quite the change, especially after searching and digging through files, trying to figure out who died, who didn't in the events of Berlin. One who did fall, which certainly had an effect upon Ashley, was Angel. She said she wouldn't leave. She was dedicated to her job. When Berlin's artillery came down, she got caught in the crossfire. She was no more. One of the last things she actually gave a damn about. In that regard. And so set the stage for her new, well, it's when it's her new vice, fueled by a want for rebellion. She did not desire change, though that was a goal she wished, but more simply to be a constant force of rebellion there, a constant force pushing against the tide and making sure the corporations could never get complacent. She came to a realization that maybe she can't stop them, but oh damn, she'll make their lives and the lives of everyone who she viewed as, well, just against her ideals, makes them hell. The flame of rebellion would lit. Where did she go? Was a good question. The answer was not staying in she did not stay in Berlin or Germany, for that matter. That land, she put it all behind her. Now posing as an elf, as she did so with her new identities, and rather successfully as time went on. After one final hurrah in Germany, one final mission, as it was, that she planned there, and subsequently got herself arrested again, though in that case she escaped. She disappeared from all record, as far as most people can tell, though in reality, she's decided to head west. She went to France, of all places. The Republic of France, I believe it is, Manako. Which also has its own corporate problems, admittedly. Everyone does, though, so you can't escape them. And there, she, well, gave birth to a new digital persona. A rather different digital persona than her previous one, for that matter. For her new persona, became that, well, not of a spider, but that of a rather interesting combination to some people's minds, perhaps. A very metal, almost a very metal elf. Metal is almost in the rock sense of metal, though imagine post-apocalyptic in that way. After she got herself to France, and she was there, and continued her minor acts of rebellion, never settling down. She lost her reason to want to settle down. She started going through and working on something. One bit of data she did recover when she got to her hideout from her secret stash. One thing that was hidden on a separate hard drive. The Cybermonster biotech virus that the group got so long ago when rescuing nutrition. She knew there was power behind it. A lot of power behind it. So she began to dig into it. And dig. Editing. Adjusting. Configuring it. They tried to block her out from the net. After all, she was a cyber hacker. She wasn't really they didn't particularly want her to have access to the Grand Matrix anymore. Blocking out the cyberware and similar things. But, you know they won't stop Ashby. As she developed that virus and learned to tame it more, and began to integrate it with herself. Ashley, her cybernetics, and this virus becoming this odd, slightly technomantic, well, reborn individual, I suppose. Gaining quite the control over her body using the new virus, able to adjust things about her as it was. This virus was capable of rewriting the brain, and likely capable of rewriting a lot more, altering things that she really needed to. Ashley, with all that she did, began to function for quite some time under her new identity, with her vendettic goals for a very long time, as it turns out. Even after she managed to go on and continue to, well, after she managed to go on and continue with everything, despite all that had happened, she would never really give up. And with the infusion of the technological virus in her, well, the good question is, will she give up now? Will she stop? The virus having changed her, altered her. And, well, getting rid of Ashley was hard before. But now, well, she may continue going for a very long time. Possibly longer. Who says if she'll ever stop at this point, with that running through her? She's no longer human, though she's not machine either. I'll leave the rest of it just blank and vague there. What exactly? Because, in that sense, Her story does not necessarily have an end to it.
Uh-huh.
Though I'll certainly answer questions and things.
She becomes a French cyber terrorist.
Probably just operating from France, likely spreading out further from that.
Using malfunctioning AI technology to enhance her body. Again, we still have the picture of the people inflicted down in the corner there.
Mm-hmm.
You're forgetting what sort of things it does.
But as said, you said yourself, it would be in theory possible maybe to try and alter it or tame it. You did.
Okay.
She became a force, perhaps even an AI herself. Who could say?
Something at least.
Something more, something beyond.
All right.
With nothing left and all connections cut. If Ziegler managed to find her, that'd be pretty impressive.
Well, he might be able to find what she does, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Ziegler.
They're always with an oily shadow behind. No track.
Ziegler is not bad at tracking things down. And
it's true, though Ashley's not bad at hiding.
Would he? Yeah, but if he put out the word that he wished to speak to her, would she keep away?
She would actively avoid it.
All right. In that case, it would be a cat and mouse game until the day he managed to corner her somewhere, which might explain why it takes a year or two before we can get that short talk.
I would probably enforce you, though, that she's like...
Yeah, that's like, she's keeping away. It's like,
She must be guilty.
Release the robots!
Release the swarm.
It's really releasing the robots for the person messing with technomancy stuff. Really good idea. Maybe Ziegler Tech is resistant to that stuff because of the rudimentary AI he implants in all of them, that they can resist such normal attempts. Then, who can say really? Also, given the fact that there's a lot of things that say they're resistant to being hacked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could be then that Ashley is the one that finds out what shot Mr. Zidlan and Vice up to such high ranks quite quickly. Is when we were helping him out do a few things and made him really love us, he was creating a device that harnessed the feelings of desperation, fear, anger, and hate that the technomancer that Vice tased. He managed to bottle that up somehow into a sort of like a technological device with a technomancer's poured in feelings that could do horrible things, like tearing an entire system apart with complete mad agony and destruction. So yeah, Ashley might be the one to find out that might be a thing. She's a cyber terrorist. She'd find that out, I'm sure.
She is more than a cyber terrorist now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I like to refer to Ashley maybe the living virus now for the net.
I do like that so far we have set up all of our characters to be new contacts for new Shadowrunners to have, Everyone can be, we have now Dr. Ziegler, he's 5 strong, I don't know.
6 strong.
and then we have Asher Webb, the living virus. She's the maniacal cyber terrorist.
Those when she went as an elf and was going in Berlin, going in France for a while. Yeah, before she fully cracked that, she was going by a new name.
Ooh.
A new elven name, being Lucina Delfoy. Sure.
So does she avoid all contact from the group?
Pretty much. All the previous lines of a connection to her basically just gone. All the accounts deleted.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, also Siegel doesn't necessarily need to find her to find out that she didn't sell them out. He can probably. It's easier to get a hold of the old interrogation tapes and stuff.
This is true. There's probably she did. If nothing else, you did also see she got recaptured again. So before she fully changed her identity. So it's like, oh hey. So at least there we see something happen.
They might have been more thorough the second time around.
I can imagine that that Vice, probably after the second time that Ashley's arrested, pushes a few favors around here or there. It's like, oh, you've been released. Here's a note.
You get an answer, fuck you, corporate scum.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, she's doing well. I'm so happy.
She's probably not happy when she finds out that Vice is working for the corporations.
I mean, if anyone was going to be
the corporation.
a corporate sellout, it was going to be Vice.
Of course it would be.
It was. It doesn't mean Ashley's going to be happy about it.
No,
True.
of course not.
No. Vice understands that. Vice doesn't care. She's rich.
As she sleeps on a pile of money.
Yeah.
In the middle of one of Vice's programs, suddenly the entire network just shuts down for a moment.
Everyone gets free drugs for the next year.
A spider appears on the screen for just a few seconds and disappears.
It winks at me like it's gone.
I love it.
So, last but not least, Warrior.
Yeah. Well, when she gets out of prison, she basically looks like she always has. She was kind of feared in the prison. No one really did anything to her.
Maybe they tried.
They tried, but
Cyber
You're gonna smuggle in some cigarettes.
She crushed them.
Yeah, she
Ripped a hole through their chest.
No, she just punched them a little. But she tried to behave because that's how she was taught to be. So when there was a fight, she would always end it right away to make sure that she wouldn't get extra years on her prison thingy. But after she came out, she basically looked the same, being healed up. She does have some scars, but she already had some, so she doesn't really care. Then first things first, she tried to find Chantel, her friend, and basically were like just smiling at her, like, so are you ready to go? And Chantel and Chu went, and Hayabusa, her dog, went to get her sword back.
Like old times.
Like old times. And after that, she would ask Chantel if she found Berlin as dull and chaotic as she did, because she was gonna go to, was it Seattle, Manikai? To Seattle with the mage community. With the mages we've been helping and keep them safe, because after she checked in with the Yakuza, she basically had a flashback of how it was back in when she was with the Red Samurai, and she was like, yeah, it would have been cool, but no. And she heard that Duke was gonna basically help the mage community and fight bugs. She was like, yeah, I want to be on that boat. So she basically did shadowrunning and protected the mages in Seattle and fought bugs with Hayabusa and Chantel.
But really, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. She didn't get any flaws. She did go back to the hideout, probably the last one. I was like, well, Ashley's gone.
You see the dead spider rotating on the one screen that's left working?
She probably turns it off. It's like it's a waste of energy.
Have to think of the environment.
And sees the message from Ziegler and Weiss, and is like, sure, she will be in contact with them, but she will explain that she's still shadowrunning, so
Well, if she needed experimental weird stuff, where she could ask.
The mages, every time she would bring something with the C on the
Yes.
major spot, you will just, oh no.
Oh no, that's Ziegler tech. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
One thing the Duke and the mages are not fond of is certainly as technology, though. That's sort of the antithesis to what they do.
Well, she will respect that, and if Weiss were to contact her, she would respect the mages and do so not in their area.
Vice shows up, Aztec, everything.
She is like a golden chain wherein a broken-in spirit, bleeding and weeping, is dragged with her as a, as a thing.
It's
a
protection.
keychain
So.
spirit, really.
It's
Keychain
a key
spirit.
accessory, really. She
Well,
loves
if she does it, she will say that it's not a good idea. They meet here. They have to meet somewhere else.
The
That's
tormented
fine.
screams matches my eyes beautifully.
And for once, when she does meet with you, she when you call her true warrior, she'll be like, it's not to me, actually.
What?
Have a name?
That's. I
And
think
for the first time, like, she takes off her mask and we see her like beautiful eyes, and we're like,
you've
It's not
seen her without
Japanese at
her.
all.
I've seen her without a mask plenty of time, but that would be her only time that she actually tells you guys what her first name is.
well,
But,
Wow.
it's not to me.
Vengeance finally done, I suppose.
So
Yeah, when she went to look up on Hanzo, he had been such a disgrace that he had to kill himself.
there you go.
And she's like, huh,
Everybody wins.
That's from Raku for you.
yeah.
Well,
Well, when
What kind of hypocrite would he be not to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Also, when she and Chantel are out there, and if they're just hanging out and they hear the Red Samurais, they do go and fuck them up
Just cuz.
because they suck.
So in Seattle we have a runner's bar at Cito. If you're gonna go up against Raku, the samurais will be there. If you're gonna take one of those down, there's only one person you should go to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You call
this.
the A-team. I mean, true.
I just like the idea of being like, you're gonna do a run against Renraku. There's a team you need to assemble.
Yeah.
Break the fabled night shift. None have done more against Renraku than these guys.
Yeah. Those assholes.
we were pretty good.
We were pretty damn good.
We were pretty great.
That only time where the team reassembles ever again, that short 10 minutes, everyone is just, we were pretty damn good. And then we just go separate ways again.
But
Kids these days,
Actually, it's just a program on the computer that kind of pops up saying that.
Yeah.
But Chu will probably never tell you guys what she is because she doesn't want to jeopardize the mages, and not just she's very about proper and honorable. So she's like, yeah, I can't tell you where I am, but I can tell you where I can meet you, because I'm serving a new master and I want to be nice to them. I don't want to dishonor them.
That's understandable. So, could Vice manage to convince both of you to come to a nice meal out one day together?
Sure.
Because obviously
Probably.
Ashley's not into it at all. So
Sure.
Vice would be like,
We'll bring a laptop and put her at the
Yeah.
end of the table.
she'll just be bits of binary code flashing like the Matrix on the screen.
She wouldn't actually get in contact with you even in data form like that. So
Yeah,
it's gone.
Vice would just be in would probably just
She sticks an old spider sticker on the other side of the table.
yeah. I imagine every year she puts together a dinner, a quiet dinner at a Chinese restaurant somewhere, you know,
Like a sky bar or something.
which is it's real meat. You know, it's like our favorite takeaway, but it's all real. Yeah, and she treats you all, and then we all go our separate ways for a year. And
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We talk about old memories.
Yeah.
And about kids these days, they don't know about shadowrunning like we did.
Yeah.
So I've got a ton of an alarm.
Well, Chu will bring Hayabusa.
I imagine in many ways Azure Web died and a new creature has been...
As I said, she was reborn.
Reborn.
It's not really Azure Web anymore, but, it's just her new identity. This elf has been born.
So does Ashley get Angel out?
As I said, Angel
She's
died in
dead.
the explosion.
Oh, she died. Oh,
You insensitive fucker.
I totally.
Like,
I'm
my
sure I
God.
missed that.
She died doing the right thing, staying back, waiting for... Remember she said that she would not leave the city without
Oh
Azure Web?
yeah.
But Azure Web got taken just before they managed to get out, so she stayed behind working to
And she died in the artillery strike.
saving as many people as possible.
That's so sad.
Thanks for bringing that up, Halldamir.
I'm sorry, man.
Wow.
That was one of the big things that caused Ashley to basically throw away everything, because she had no connection to her old life she wanted anymore.
Yeah, I can get that. I can understand that.
It's rough.
Rough.
One of the last things she did to kind of finish off her connection was at a place that not quite where her parents were buried, because she's never found that out in the end where her parents were buried, but at kind of the site where her old family home would have been back before the corporates took over the first time. She ended up burying the locket somewhere around walking away from it all.
Next to the new corporate fountain that was being erected there. The Citigroup cemented over the east and rebuilt everything. Nice, efficient infrastructure. Yeah. So what did happen to a bunch of people? We sort of heard a little bit about some people in your stories, but now I'll tell this in short. Some of them. Duke, as you heard, moved to Seattle, where he joined the rather large shamanistic society there.
Monica, your microphone is really tinny and weird. Can you jiggle it a little bit? Oh,
You killed him instead. Good
That's
job.
it. It's all over.
Better?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's
yes.
better.
Okay, good. So Duke moved to Seattle. They have a very large shamanistic society there due to their proximity to several Native American lands. And, he sort of had enough of bugs, and really would like to start anew someplace. Berlin did not seem to be the place after the complete corporate takeover, and so he decided to find a new pasture. The fact that he brought with him an elite super warrior probably only make that transition easier on him. In short, he's doing pretty well over there. Small, but he never wanted to be big. Mr. Sitlan, we heard a little bit about him too. His real name, Extley, the Feathered Serpent, banished for being not so useful in the Amazonian Wars, managed to, succeed with his plans in every way. He hired Fragmeister to get the canister of the nanoswarms from Evo, where they were being developed by the infiltrating technomancers. And then he managed to get a technomancer as well into his custody, enabling him to make a deadly weapon by combining the two. Tortured technomancer spits out, tries to escape into technology that he then lets him into the form of the nanoswarm. The machine simply panicking and moving erratically in crazy things, disintegrating anything they get close to, allowing him to rid vast swaths of magical rainforest, thereby decimating Aslan's old enemy of Amazonia. Blood magic will rule all of America soon enough. Komuro Hanzo failed in his mission, and so he ended himself before things got too bad even. His replacement didn't do very much well either, And Rinraku, though they still have the extraterritoriality, can't really be taken from them since it's Rinraku territory, was sold to Seda Group a few years later because it simply would be too costly to rebuild it. Norbert was offered a job transfer to the new Seda Group city of Berlin. He took it on the condition that all his subordinates would be given the same offer. The ones that had survived, that is. He negotiated hard due to collateral damage to his people and had them all given a good raise and insurance that the coffee machine would always be in working order. Something that Saber Group certainly delivered on.
I mean, he had a lot of subordinates after I got him a promotion.
Jabril, Timothy,
Fuck him.
was found dead in his collapsed bunker.
Yes.
He did not make it out. Eyewitnesses would say that artillery strikes hit his location. However, official statement says that it was civil unrest that did it.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, it was.
I need an update who he is.
He is a part of a disgraced member of the Bonaparte crime family, sent from Corsica here to see if he could make his way back. He wanted to work with you to acquire some art that he could sell.
Oh yeah, he was
but you
the one who
chose not to do much with him, and really
And we
blew up
burnt
his
down his
fancy
home.
house and a
We
few
did,
other
yeah.
things in the B team. He was not a
Yeah.
good spot, and he ended up dying because Seda Group didn't really like
Yeah.
organized
He
crime.
was Vice's drug dealer at some point. As well.
Throwing her out with the
A lot
students
of
they gave it.
people advise drug dealer. Just saying, a lot of people advise a drug dealer at some point.
Yeah, at this point,
Yeah.
Halldamir, who hasn't been your drug dealer.
Well, you know.
Like, I'm thinking even Ashley probably made one for you at some point.
Harry Zeeler
Maybe.
hasn't been Vice's drug dealer. But who even remembers who that is?
Not a clue.
Politician?
Hmm.
Was he the politician?
No, he's Horizon.
Oh, yes, him.
I don't
He
know.
never succeeded in his mission to topple Sophia Starlight and replace her.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody really cared about him.
No.
And so, well, what happened to his life is unremarkable and uninteresting. So I
It did
suppose
help.
he just walks into obscurity.
We did help him with that TV series though, but Vice fucked that up.
Yeah,
We
Remember?
were busy.
he had nothing to show for anything, and so an unremarkable life trying to reach the heights he once had, never succeeding. Ellen Schuster, though, the lady in charge of Evo Berlin, is now heralded as the strong woman who, with a gentle hand, guided Evo through the Berlin crisis. The only real loss of her career was a giant databank system, but with minimal casualties. You will find her seen in posters and interviews where she talks about the heroes and villains of the crisis. All proceeds from these, of course, go to MetaHuman charity.
She needs to die. Can we like have one more
Can we kill
session
her?
where we just kill?
She did great, and she's very happy to be the strong woman who stood up for all that is good.
I'm just noting, Jonas, with Ashley being the Cyberterror she is, at some point she might have another server bank disappear.
You know,
Can I send the nano swarm?
Yeah, can like Ziegler Tech satellites suddenly crash on her house? Like,
I know, we'll have a joint task
located.
force.
I mean, we did call a truce with her.
Ziegler Tech
yes, we
aims
call the
the
truth,
swarm.
but for her to go and succeed like this is just unforgivable.
Yeah, it is. It is. Me and
Very
Kayla.
well.
Will not.
Her jump up in the ranks with your killing her superior was
Oh
great.
yeah, that's what we did.
And he was a
Because
technomancer. You
he's-
didn't even know that at the time, did you?
He was what?
He was a technomancer.
Was he?
Developing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember when we attacked him
fuck
in his
yeah.
apartment? He did stuff with computers, and we were
true.
like, "Oh, that's weird."
Yeah, and then we just nuked him, and
Yeah, everything just
Nothing
shot to
happened.
pieces.
He was
think
the
I tased
leader
him.
of the technomancy conspiracy.
oh,
Had infiltrated there for a long time and was working hard to create a nanoswarm that they could put an AI into, thereby making it able to disperse over a large area and do really anything, be unstoppable, so it couldn't be taken down by anybody. That was stolen by Fragmeister, on Mr. Sitlan's orders. And
Thanks for the nanoswarm.
Mr. Sitlan then organized the blaming of Renraku that dragged them into the whole thing. Which is where your jobs came from a whole lot against Renraku, to blame or to make beef between them and Horizon.
But the mission...
It succeeded. Mr. Sitlan got everything he wanted and got home with even more than he expected. He's very happy.
But Harry Sealer, his missions were so dumb.
He didn't care about entertainment, yeah.
Aw.
I'm happy that Mr. Sitlan. I'm not angry at Mr. Sitlan's success. He never screwed us over. Like, he was always very forthcoming in our dealings.
But he was so damn useful. So
I feel bad for the Technomancer, though.
oh, he had a terrible, horrible existence.
Yeah, but he did try to taste.
I successfully tased him.
He
tried to kill Vice.
Yeah, he did a lot of bad stuff to us.
You don't try to kill Vice. She's too pretty.
Attrition disappeared in the chaos of the besieged city. Like many of the Deckers, her remains were never found. Later, around the Renraku extraterritoriality, malformed hunches of human flesh with cybernetics sticking out of them were found. Potentially, this was a side effect of a malfunctioned AI attempting to escape in their bodies. It was not a pretty sight.
Oof.
In one sense, I'm slightly glad I was disconnected at the time that happened.
Annabelle Clayton of Ares returned to Denmark, to the Tyr Corporation she came from, and there she made a good career of being not loud about anything, attempting to dodge as much of Ares' involvement in the whole thing, paying off Seder Krupp to look the other way, given what they had acquired, and generally just being quiet for most of the rest of her life. What she had been a part of and led was hushed under, and although Ares still keeps the research around, they try not to show it for at least another couple of years.
So was she a bug?
No.
Did she help was she a bug friend?
Well, I mean, you found a laboratory from one of the groups she had been leading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were
they were researching on bugs, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were researching ways to destroy them and create better equipment from them.
Unfortunately, in the process, they let the bugs out by accident.
Well, they're hard to contain.
They should know that.
That's why we contain them in Germany.
Yeah, but that's why you picked Berlin.
That's so mean.
Their way of thinking was as follows: Berlin is a city that is divided in two. You can do shit in the east, you can get away with shit in the east because nobody pays attention to what happens over there. So there's lots of people you can use to experiment on. None of those things will really be problems anyway. They will come in here just for food. It's really easy. Beyond that, it is not in anywhere near their territory, generally, except for Denmark, which is up north and in the Scandinavian Union, where they have their European headquarters. It's just far enough that if there was an infestation, Seder Krupp would have to handle it, and they're pretty sure that Seder Krupp will be able to do something about it.
True Warrior killed her in V for Vendetta style. I killed you 10 minutes ago.
I'm just saying, by the way, I just realised. So that means Denmark was taken over by cowboys, basically.
What?
Sort of.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I mean, the department there is led by the Tyr Corporation, which is named after the Norse god of war. They are one of the reasons you could acquire weapons like this was because of their influence. They are a group who, in their area in Copenhagen, they have a free trading zone where you can trade anything, literally anything. There's nothing is illegal.
Wow.
Which means that all the horrible crime weapons and such are traded there, because as long as you deal with it in that zone, you're fine. You're good. Wow. They made that deal, and it's upheld to this day. Don't try to break in there, though. They have all the crazy shit. So generally nobody wants to stop it now that it's already going.
Wow.
Hence you had access to a lot of crazy shit, because that's where that influence comes from.
From Denmark?
from Tyr, as it were.
I'm just saying that's still a subsidiary, basically, of our power. So,
Oh yeah, totally. Some Ares.
So-
Zamora, the Wasp people,
Fucking
were
Wasp,
defeated
man.
in the end.
Awesome.
Flamethrowers, just napalm gas, rain down of artillery fire, lots of casualties. However, their numbers were limited, and every one that died couldn't be brought back. It was quite a heavy effort and slow to slowly hem them in step by step, but brave Cedacrup dragoons managed it in the end, as they tend to always do. The center of the city is not well anymore, and so safe to say they made their mark before they were thrown back. Perhaps the spirits will return to us in Chicago, angry that they wasted their one chance.
Good.
The Yakuza, well, the local group was very decimated by the whole artillery strike. The few that managed to escape was doing so as high-level businessmen of other corporations. In time, they will reestablish their presence in Berlin and probably in many other European cities, but for a while at least, they are greatly weakened. Cayenne, Matrix, Knight of Celadir, managed to, in the end, enter the center of Berlin with a special piece of hardware big enough to allow part of the AI consciousness to escape within it, plugging it in and making the deal that he would attempt to get it out if it simply allowed or were to trust him. Having already attempted to escape in its various number of people, it had no choice, and thereby he was able to extract part of it. His stay in the city afterwards was a harrowing time, and in the end, he became changed by the experience of the siege. He managed to escape with the hard drive, however, and bring it back to Wales, where, given the research that Ziegler brought, a young new AI might indeed have been created, a mind that could be nurtured from the beginning by people who wanted the best for it and who knew exactly how to handle it. In the end, the real winner, well, two, if you will, would be Mr. Sitlan and, of course, Lothier. Having smelled early the trouble that was going on in Berlin, he chose to simply ignore it, preparing a strike force for, as it were, taking over the east. He allowed trouble to go way out of hand. When calling for a big meeting to discuss affairs, he purposefully delayed it, making sure that things heated up to the point where there was no going back. When they were heated up, and bugs was a problem, and technology terrorists were smashing them out in Miraku, he hired a group of Shadowrunners he had some of his people hire a group of Shadowrunners to break down the wall, thereby making the argument that it was clearly undefendable, that this current situation was unstable and impossible to keep. The status quo was gone, and so a new deal had to be made, and, well, it just so happened that his people were standing there, ready to deploy. The German government had little choice but to allow him to take care of the problem. In the subsequent years, little choice in allowing him to rebuild it, and then little choice in letting him keep it. And that is what happened to the city itself. The events of Berlin, the wall breach, the behaviors of several, Intercorp officials really forced the German hand in giving Cedacrup access to most of the city. Berlin, left over, the center of it a wreckage, a heap of ruins, will be rebuilt. Extraterritorialities of other companies will be bought out, and are all going to be part of the new and improved Greater Berlin Sprawl, the city of tomorrow. The planning is underway, and reconstruction will be the ideal of modern infrastructure, as only Cedacrup can construct it. A city of grey and steel and efficiency. That is what Berlin will become. Little of its once anarchistic history will be left, and even less of that spirit will dwell in the grey buildings of a billion wage slaves just living out their lives as numbers. Yeah. Now, I think we'll take a little intermission, a 5-minute break perhaps, and then we will go back, and I have a few questions to ask you guys to get a discussion going, where we'll talk about the game, really.
Okay.
So, go to the bathroom, take a breath of air, get some water, whatever it is you want to do, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right. 5-minute break.
So I know I had was so I didn't end up reading that document until yesterday.
Oh.
And when I read it, I had a very brief moment that can be basically translated as son of a bitch. I called it. I had a guess what Seder Crypt's plan was, and I got it dead on. I knew that I was so sure that Seder Crypt was planning on basically just bombing everything.
Oh god, yeah.
And I was right.
It's too good.
Well,
for them not to.
it seems like the easiest thing to do when there's a pandemic like that.
Well, the thing was, they purposely engineered the pandemic to ensure it would turn out in their favor.
Yeah.
They were smart about using their cards, right? So in one sense, I give them credit. On the other hand, we were their pawns.
Yeah.
And they clearly screwed us over, Jonas. You don't think he's here, but still.
Yeah.
I do enjoy how at least one of our characters, and particularly Chu, just didn't really change anything. This just status quo.
Yeah. Well, what else can she do? She can't really settle down or...
Vice would get her hired.
She could have settled down.
Yeah.
But
you could fight in the eternal blood war.
You know, she's like Thane from Mass Effect. You know?
Vice would
When
give you a
when he
lot.
tries to settle down, he tries to do all kind of works, but he fails at all of them because in the end, what he's really good at is assassination. So you know, choose the same. She'd be like, I can't be a baker.
Are you telling me that Chu is just a murderer?
She's not a murderer, but what she is good at, she doesn't. If she's in a society, everything about her is weird and awkward, because she's grown up in a society that was so different. She can't live in a normal society anymore. She would freak people out, make them uncomfortable.
You know, if Shu ever gets bored of
Duke.
Duke, then you know Vice would give her a very cushy job.
This job still involves magic, but now a different kind.
Yeah, and we may enhance your sword to... Well, actually, your sword deals damage to
You're saying her sword isn't good
spirits.
as it is.
You're
So-
probably not allowed to touch that.
Yeah, no, I forgot that it does stuff to spirits anyway.
Yeah,
so
it does.
just... Yeah, you'd be perfect. Yeah. Vice
I'm
would...
just saying, touch the sword and die.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I've got Jade Monkey of Destruction now as well.
Oh, you got a promotion.
No, it's a different one. I got Friendship, Destruction, and Cookery. He teaches me how to cook.
Aw.
He gets.
You don't need to cook ever.
He wishes he would get destroyed because Vice is really not good at this.
Nope.
Well, you know,
She tries it once every 3 years and gives up.
And then you put him in the closet for 2 years.
Yep.
well, if Vice were, she would be like, I'm very flattered, but I just can't live a normal life. That's too late for me.
Oh, it wouldn't be normal. You'd fight alongside jaguars, probably in the jungles, killing many things in horrible blood sacrifices sometimes. Why? Who knows? It's just good fun.
She's probably not gonna agree on that.
It's also
She will-
business.
She'll politely say no, you know?
You
But,
get
you
paid
know,
a lot.
Sure, but it's not money that she needs.
You get hugs and cuddles from Vice.
That's just no, that's
Oh.
weird. Last time she got a hug was from Ashley, you know?
It's true.
So, no. Chu is not... Yeah.
Not into fighting the eternal blood war and the...
No,
In
it's not
Mexico.
her war.
No. It's not many people's wars, but most people don't get a choice.
Maybe that's for the best. That is not many people's war.
Nope. Well, it is, but they don't really get a choice to have it as their war.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at Asland.
Well, I mean, some would say Amazonia is not much better. It's an awakened state, meaning it's sort of Amazonian magic. It is led by great dragons. Are the bosses of that place.
Well, it's being wrecked now, so...
There's a lot of it, though. Most of South America
Yeah.
has been reclaimed by forest and nature. And if you want to live in a house, they will generally kill you as fertilizer for the trees. So
Nice.
it is not a great place to be either for anybody, really.
And we're protecting people from that, damn it.
Yes, you're totally the good guys.
Yes. That's how PR looks at it, and damn it, I am the face of PR, alright? Gotta believe what you preach.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm somewhat imagining some of the headaches that Vice ends up going through later on in her career end up being because Ashley has done something when she's trying to do PR.
Oh, I can imagine she's in like a meeting and they're like, look, this fucking spider keeps popping up everywhere. It's a pain in our fucking ass.
Oh, Ashley doesn't use her spider symbol anymore.
Oh, wow. You get my point. And
What? What is it now?
A metal elf.
Well, as it stands, she doesn't famemonger anymore. So
That
she-
does, wait,
Oh.
does the elf have the Doge face at least?
nope.
Doge elf?
Nope. If there's any trace of Doge left, pretty much you guys have the last traces of Doge on you.
You mean like the 10,000 stickers you left in the box
Yeah.
in the hideout?
Also in Plank's programming. Sorry, I didn't tell you. I put a copy in Plank.
No.
Whenever you're not
Right.
looking, he does the face.
Yes, he puts on sunglasses like.
Yeah. I can just imagine though, Vice is in the meeting, they're like, look, this keeps happening and it's getting to be a problem, and Vice looks at it and is like, God fucking damn it, Ashley. Again? Come on.
You know this woman. Do you perhaps have any part of her blood, hair,
No.
piece of cloth she used before?
No.
It's all we need.
No. She's part program now anyway, so makes it difficult. And I don't want to use the nano swarm on her.
Well, one of the things I was going to mention was like the fact that originally I was planning to have Ashley's eyes now turned like green from her like from, you know, like technomantic.
Well, you can
connection.
change that anyway. You've got
That's the thing. She changes her eye color.
yeah. It's not really like, oh my god, it's changed. It's gone green. It's she's changed her eyes to green. All right.
The color change in the eyes is indeed based on the AI's, but the amount of influence it has put on you. There's blue eyes, there's green eyes, there's white. Different colors have different
Oh.
security and different levels of autonomy. Green eyes are not a lot of autonomy.
Well, in this case, she is her own AI.
Yeah.
So-
Sort of weird mutated Matrix ghost,
but still living Matrix Ghost.
destroying everything.
Oh, what about Dr. Z nano swarm? Oh my god.
Well, certainly interesting.
Yes.
Something to work on, I think.
Nanos.
I like
Dr.
the nano
Ziegler, we have a business proposal.
When you say Dr. Z, I just think of the doctor from Borderlands.
Okay. I don't
Curious
know
guy.
that doctor.
I just picture it as here's
called-
a lot of money to develop
yes,
this
Dr.
new
C.
nano swarm. You need to connect it with this one, and everything will go along swimmingly. Don't look at what it is, though. Don't let your system actually touch it either. Just local networks. Keep it local. It could destroy the matrix if you're not careful.
Sounds great.
I think we're all here. We've had our break.
I think so.
I think so.
We are sort of getting into discussion a little bit already, but just a few leading questions. And the first one here would be, can you find just a few moments or sort of roles or times that really stood out to you that you remember now, like as a great moments?
Bugs.
That was a great moment. I'm gonna say for Vice, it would have to be tasing the Technomancer at the concert.
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
That was like the beginning of it all.
After that, you taste more and more people.
Oh yeah, became a thing.
I think
So much.
one moment that I think was stood out as well at the first time actually really showed off her skills and just how kind of maverick she was compared to even most deckers. Was her jacking into the dead brain of Ragmeister.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
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 That was
Certainly
fucking
the
crazy.
level of Ashley known as someone who just goes 120% always. No matter the reward, always maximum risk.
I mean, she's good at her job though.
The amount of groaning your teammates have had over the missions. From, oh yeah, I leave the spider there. And people are like, oh.
But it restores 2 karma.
I think something I liked. There's a lot of things I liked, but I liked the first time we ran a personal mission to take out the Evo dude. I liked that a lot. That was something we decided, no, we're not gonna get paid, we're not gonna do anything, but we need to do this for ourselves. That mission was very fun. Very tense, very personal. But we did it, and I think that was our first real showing as a team what we could do, because everyone had something to do in that one, and we did very well.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's one I remember very, very much as well.
Another point I have to bring up that also stood out to me as a really interesting session was us stealing a freaking tank.
Yeah, the stealing the tank.
Good.
I will say I like this late third of missions we ran, because we sort of at that point we didn't care as much about like following all the rules. It wasn't as serious. We did a lot of really silly things that I enjoyed quite a bit. Like Isaac, I would point out the band, for example. The band infiltration was amazing. I just love it. It's one of my absolute favorite moments in the entire campaign is the band infiltration.
I think as we played the game, we suddenly got more into the spirit of the game, which is there are very few truly bad clans if you're just audacious enough to pull them off.
It's the idea if you go into a building and build it and call fire, you might actually succeed to get everyone to leave.
Yeah.
If you're good enough at it.
Yeah, it's just we played so the stage exploded basically, and it's great stuff.
And yet we still succeeded.
And got away with it too.
And got away with it too, yeah.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you and your pet Lincolns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And
very
like
creative solution to the problem shown to you.
And when we were
that's
taking,
something I, as a DM here, has noticed a lot. The further we got in, the more creative solutions became. But I think also because you began to master the system more and know your limits and your capabilities.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there was a lot of careful movement because you weren't really sure how far you could push things, right?
No.
Well, later you sort of actually these characters are pretty sturdy. We can take a lot of punishment before things get really sort of irrevocably bad. And I think that really, yeah.
I like the infiltration we did at the clinic that blew up half, like an entire building, like
Oh my
half
God,
a
yeah.
section of the half a block. Just
Go
blew up.
loud, as it were.
Yes, yeah.
And there
That was
was
fun.
that mission where we took like the famous guy, put him in a van, and we drove around.
Yes.
I would like on sideways for half of it
But that,
somehow.
yeah, and that's one of those late third, it's more silly missions where she's just like, all right, it's time to just
It was
pedal
so
to the
good.
metal and run this like a crazy person through the city while we copy this dude's DNA.
Yeah.
It's like
And then just
missiles
drop
are
him
just
off
skip-
in some alley.
And I always enjoyed the crazy stuff Shu pulled off, like kicking grenades back and forth was always a good one.
It's like, no, I don't think that grenade does come to us. I kick it back. Fuck you,
Yeah.
We
grenade.
did start with the one talent that's like, you are 5 people in a battle. When you fight 5
Yeah.
to 1, that's equal numbers, which says a lot about like someone, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't
She-
take 5 dudes at once. Fuck no, never. Like
Shu was a god at the
Yeah.
end of it.
Yeah.
Like,
that
yeah.
team isn't here to this.
At the end, she was always a god.
yeah, but at the end, she became a true god that, like, I wouldn't even know how to kill her. We'd have to break the
Crash a
cybernetics.
helicopter, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
crashing a helicopter, as it turns out.
No, it's crashing a helicopter with 3 of her friends still inside
That's
of
true. She had like 2 tries to get it safety,
Yeah.
and she chose to save save
it.
2
She
of you.
sacrificed herself for us. So if it wasn't for 2 friends being in the helicopter, she would have been fine.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I was gone. What did I
Yeah.
miss?
we're praising you as a
We're
character.
talking about great moments.
They are great moments.
And how insane Shiwari is as a battler.
Oh my god, it was so funny to kidnap that monk.
Wow.
It was fun because we was like, yeah, he's crazy. We're not gonna listen to his weird talk. We're just gonna punch him in the face and bring him against his will.
Another one that I remember standing out a little bit was back. I think this was one of our last few runs against Evo. We did, which involved also involved Vice tasing a fairy.
Yes.
Oh, that fairy.
She was so interesting too, and you never talked to her.
Yeah, she was super interesting.
She had a whole thing about taking over from Ellen, but then you made peace with her. She was like, well, and then other shit came up. So
Oh,
That's
should
the
have
thing.
thought of that.
If the fairy lady was like, I wanted to take out Ellen, we would have been like, no.
well, she was a little pissed to taste her. That was not
I
cool.
mean, you know, it's
Could have been worse,
business.
though.
All
Don't
right.
tase me, bro! Don't tase me.
Worse.
Well, again, yeah, it could totally been worse. I could have stabbed her and
You also
killed her, you
didn't
know?
punch her. So
I mean,
I didn't
again,
punch. Oh, wait, I did
You
punch
totally
her right
punched
in
her,
the
yeah.
back.
Wow.
into a wall.
Yeah, I know.
Just as she was about to talk to him, just tastes and smacked into the wall. Yeah.
I gotta also say one of the other great things about this campaign is all of the amazing fan art that Azakawa has provided over the
Yes.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Immortalizes moments.
We are
Yeah.
very, very thankful, very humble. So,
Humble.
Asakawa specifically, thank you. We love it.
Yep. Artwork is always shown during our sessions, showing how much we do love it. In fact, I put it as a small image during everything so that you can still see them rolling around as we're doing dice rolls and everything. So
The artwork actually made me eat. The artwork is one of those things which was kind of a good motivation boost of like, this is sometimes a little bit stressful. Okay, this is fun now.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that awesome picture of the city block blowing up.
It's
And
just,
then,
Shu
It was
kicking the
pretty
grenade, the band. Yeah.
the
the
band was
moment
great.
that became a thing.
Yeah, and it didn't even
It's
start.
the other way around.
Yeah, that was the spark for our idea. Which, yeah.
I think it was some offhand comment we did, like
It
at
was.
after talk or something at some point where we
I
just
think
joked about.
I think it was also right around the time I kind of mentioned like, yeah, Ashley might pick up an instrument like a guitar or something. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, that's. Oh, I think it because we were joking and we were like, if we all were playing an instrument, then I think I made an offhand joke that, oh, you would probably play the guitar, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
guitar. Yep.
One
Guitar.
thing I'll say is that one thing I would improve, did this again, would be have one of the playbooks here be for the street rocker. Like, it's such a classic thing, and it isn't in here. And maybe it is now. I haven't looked at any new versions of this. The Karma in the Dark we're using, but that it's Shadowrun has always been the silly thing to have the guy with the guitar. That's what he does. He plays guitar, but it's just so iconic at this point, right? Like
It was so-
that it's sort of you kind of want one.
it was
We
also-
got them from all of you.
It was also very funny when we went to the to what we thought was a party, but it was a funeral.
Oh yeah.
Jonas wasn't here for that. Yeah.
No, it was a
No.
girls'
No,
night
I
out.
wasn't.
And we
that
were
was-
like, oh yeah, we're going to a party. Oh, it's a fucking funeral.
That is also
we
the only time.
scrambled on the gift things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave them molten cheese.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Wasn't
gave
that
him
what we-
cheese.
Yeah,
Wow.
cheese.
It was just good
We're
cheese.
so sorry for your loss. Have this aged cheese.
He liked it.
I mean,
He
weren't we welcome
did.
to like the French or something? So.
Yeah, we sold
It's
it.
very
Oh,
stereotypical.
wow. I see.
Well, we rolled really bad when we were like, oh, we have this. Halldamir rolled really good on the intel and how we would get in there, and we got invites and everything, and we were like, oh, we're gonna need some nice clothes, and we went to get some nice clothes,
Yeah.
and then Monica rolled the dice on how.
It was like a 1.
Yeah, it was a 1. It's like it's a funeral, and we're like,
Yeah.
I mean, the one saving grace we had was when we all preemptively like said about our outfits. We all mentioned them black.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were like, yeah,
Just
black.
imagine Vice kicking in the door saying, "What up? You ready to party?" And everyone turns, and there's these elderly French people with their veils and like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's wearing like a scandalous like pink and red outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Like,
back
I'm
when
ready to
Jabril
party.
really had something, you know? Before he exploded his house with blood magic and fire things and did horrible
never
things to
saw
him.
that.
Dragon
I
deals.
never saw Jabril's house blown up.
Yeah, no, you didn't. I think that was the session that Jonas's B team character fucking lost his shit.
Yeah,
And you
I
never
have-
went back to the B team because there would be ramifications. You didn't want to deal with.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I have no idea what. I still have no idea what really happened on that mission.
That was a mission and a
well,
half.
Jonas, tell
You know
him
those
what
war
you
crime
did.
grenades? It's effectively that, but from mass technology, right?
Yes.
Fun.
I had like I forget what it was, but it was like a heart of a dead phoenix or something that I like unlocked.
Yes.
Like and just basically, I used it to I don't know how many crits I got on that roll as well. So I basically just
So, man.
I shot like a magical fire beam to the moon or something. It's just left the house in complete and utter ruin.
Well,
Jonas,
on the
I
way
never-
in there, your
I-
approach for the mission was chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
approach
Of
was
lighting
chaos.
every tree around on fire so that people would
Yes.
leave the building.
It was.
Which then lit the building on fire and destroyed their shrine, which made a
Yeah, that,
spirit
had
pissed off. So
that was a fire elemental too.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good times.
We needed them to leave the building. Yeah.
What-
Yeah, instead we
They
destroyed
left.
the entire building.
They left the building.
I
I mean,
Didn't
yeah,
we
or burned
unleash
to death.
like a fire spirit on the way?
Yeah, it
No,
was,
that
an
was- that
accident
was-
though.
that
You
was an
didn't know that
accident.
they had it in the garden. You just chose to burn the garden down, and
Yeah,
then I mean, it got pissed off because who the fuck burns it down?
it was totally happy about being a fire everywhere.
There's there to be protection too.
Yeah,
Mm.
it fucking
Well,
protected
jokes on them
something.
not getting a water elemental.
I didn't have a pond, so.
No.
They should
there
have
are
got
other-
one.
Other favorite missions, I guess. I actually. What is that in the background? Is that you,
Oh,
Halldamir?
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It's like a whole damn circus. One of my favorite missions, I think, also was actually the creepy Resident Evil inspired mission in the old Ares bunker with the bugs. That was really good. I really like that mission. If I play Shadowrun again, I would like if it can be themed around that stuff. You know, more of the creepy investigation. Basically, play a spooks team. You know, where it's like creepy investigations is what you do, and you can have sort of almost like a Cthulhu bent to it. I think that could be really, really fun and really exciting.
That would be pretty cool, I have to add.
I'm glad I captured the mood of that mission a lot, because it was one of the missions I was afraid when I designed it that there wouldn't be enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
It was something I designed early because I knew that this would be one of the major things that would happen in Berlin, basically. And so I had it around for a while, and finally got the chance to introduce you guys to it. And I'm very glad it went well.
I really liked it.
It was really creepy, and it was amazing.
Yeah, we enjoyed the creepiness.
Although I don't know, I haven't done any Resident Evil in my life, so I hope that didn't subtract too much. That apparently some things were similar.
No.
Yeah.
It's the classical horror thing of like picking up the pieces of something gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Which is Resident Evil, at least early Resident Evil.
One of the themes I really hope to express with the bugs is that they're otherworldly.
It's
Sort of unknowable and really just creepy. Yeah, like scary things in a world where most things can be exploded or face down in some way.
Yeah, I think one of the creepy moments was when we met that wasp man, and he had this huge cape on, and when he told us to leave, he used
Another arm.
another arm, but it wasn't the arm that we were supposed to see.
Yeah.
So we saw he had a cape on, but then he had an arm that was not supposed to be there, and he just pointed at where we were supposed to go, and we were like, dude, you're not supposed to have an arm there. And we were just, oh, you're so gross.
He's trying his best human. It's like, yes, I shall point with my human arm. And it's like,
I
comes from like his leg region or something. You're like, yeah.
Well, I think it's because he has so many limbs, and he was like trying to pretend he was still a human,
Yes.
but he just accidentally used the wrong arm, and we were just like, oh my god.
The underside of a trilobid, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's I like a creepy bent in Shadowrun. I think it works very well. Like Shadowrun Hong Kong, for example. There's a lot of creepiness in that one, and I liked it quite a bit.
Well, it's fitting because it's so unknown. It's bugs from space.
Mm-hmm.
Another dimension.
You dream of 1,000 teeth and stuff. You're like, ugh, I don't like any of this. This is bad things.
Yeah.
I think we touched on a lot of different moods, really, through the campaign. We shouldn't did silly things like the band things and creepy things. Just
the band.
Maybe a bit grim, even.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, I think actually there's important to have a variety of things because I wanted to represent many different aspects of the Shadowrun mythos, so to speak, to include a variety of different pieces. But of course, some of them you guys were like, nah, fuck that guy. We don't care about entertainment-based espionage.
No.
You can go to hell. We're like, okay, that's kind of how this game works.
Mm.
Yeah. Were there any NPCs that stood out to you particularly?
Mr. Zitlan.
Yeah, enjoyed Mrs. Sitlan.
He was good. I liked him.
Why?
He was just such a strong character for me.
He was evil and creepy, but he treated us well.
Yeah, he was good to us.
Norbert and the Duke.
Norbert.
Yeah, I like Norbert.
But that's typical of me liking those two.
You didn't talk to Norbert a whole lot. You had a few missions for him.
I tried my best.
The Duke.
One that stood out was the infuriating trying to be niceness of Ellen.
Yeah, she's the one of the main villains because she was so insufferable. Absolutely insufferable.
She took us out to a spa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also the only time I was legitimately upset during this campaign was when you sold out our
we didn't have a choice.
first safe house to
Yeah,
her.
we didn't have a choice.
We didn't have a choice, and they knew where the safe house was. That safe house was lost.
They were like, "We've got your block. Just tell us."
If we sold it out, or they spend a few weeks, then they find us. One or the other.
They were like across the street.
Yeah, they were literally like down the road. And we were
When
like,
they saw
"Ooh."
us, we parked outside our house, they're like, "Oh, okay, now we know." It's like, damn it.
It's,
She was certainly much more. Jens Snitzer was just trying his best, but he was not a leader at heart. Ellen was dangerous woman, very career-based, very fierce, with more of an aura, a pretense, using the idea of equality and such to further her own goals.
If he
Didn't
wasn't,
have the Evo spirit to the highest point.
if he wasn't a leader at heart, why didn't he just leave us alone? What an idiot.
Jens?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was trying to track Fragmeister and tracked Fragmeister back to your fixer, and then found you and thought, hey, maybe you were the guys who stole my fucking nano swarm canister. And you killed him.
We did. Well, he started by doing all this weird stuff.
Yeah, trying to keep an eye on you.
I think we were very close to a war with him as well.
Yeah, and then we fucking murdered him.
They were like, "This is annoying. Let's just kill him."
I mean,
Let's fuck him up.
it honestly shows, once again, that NPCs are dicks and you're idiots. If you had just told us that I have lost a nanoswarm, I think that your old dude Fragmeister took it. Would you allow me to check? We could have said, "Oh, sure,
We
that's
don't
probably
have-
bad. You should probably want that."
You know,
Like,
he
that's
could
fine.
he could even have hired us to find it.
Yeah, he could have hired us to find it.
It's
But
sit
nope.
down and be very sad by that. Think of how
He
different
would
things
have
would be
Yeah.
if you pick his side. This whole
I was
thing.
really glad that we went with him, I'm sure.
I, you know, deep down, I wish we could have gone with Evo because they stood for good stuff. But you know, they just kept pushing our buttons.
They were too nice.
No, they're not too nice. They were too annoying.
Too nice.
Too annoying.
Everyone had to be fairly loved, and fuck everybody, honestly.
No, I didn't find any of them pleasant really
Ugh.
but they were just annoying. They were like, oh, you know, they were like that kind of friend that they're like, can I borrow your phone to call someone? And then you find out they read all your text. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe you said this thing to that person 3 months ago. It's like, what?
Yeah.
You went through what now?
It went through my phone, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, you gave it to me. You didn't put a lock on it. And we're like, that doesn't mean you can look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Evo.
That's Evo. All
They
Evo.
asked about everything they read on your computers, and you agreed to everything that happened.
Yeah, that, or we basically were at war.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
She made it very difficult for us to say no, obviously.
Yeah.
But we honestly, we gave her hell back.
Oh god, yeah. If we weren't busy dealing with fucking insect spirits, we would have dealt with her.
Yeah, if the insect spirits hadn't saved her fucking skin, we would have dealt with her.
Yeah.
You live
Because-
this time.
Because how do you make mortal enemies of the player team? You mess with their stuff.
Yeah.
Take their shit.
This,
Assholes.
this goes for most adventuring parties, admittedly.
It does.
In most systems, you know.
Well, they were so annoying.
Well, she was, as I said, insufferable.
Yeah.
So, last thing Siegler does in his life is to kill that woman. He'll be happy.
She
his
was the
last-
one.
With his last dying breath.
It was her.
He set it all up.
Yeah, you come to his office and he has this like huge cork board with like red strings going everywhere. It's just, it's her, I tell you.
Just a piece of his hair missing.
Yeah, he just ripped it out. Yeah, he'll go more into the sort of Rick and Morty routine, you know, as he grows older.
Yeah. No, shoot, you see. It's her the attack. Shoot, we have to go. Quickly.
Exactly.
She was like, are you drunk?
Into the head of the helicopter. Shoot. It's just you and me.
He
You
opens
all
up the
best
car and
friends.
all the bottles run out of the car like,
She was like, maybe I should drive.
this is fine.
Every secret needs a chew.
It's all true.
No.
You'd be too polite to say
Secret
no.
you forever for 100 years.
Yes. Forever and ever. She was like, oh,
Go everywhere.
oh no.
Secretchew.com.
We're gonna get
Also,
real
also
chicken.
you need to put this way up your butt. Way up there.
How else am I gonna make him a Dronian?
Exactly.
Oh, they've got a new machine. They can see things way up inside your butthole.
Yep.
Oh no.
What? Run, you run!
Run,
I
you!
heard that show is starting up at the end of the month.
Yeah,
I heard. So.
Oh, good times.
We already did my next one, which is overall mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, many missions. I like the first person one we did. The creepy bunker one, stealing a tank, the rock band infiltration.
The rock band was definitely my favorite overall, I think.
It was pretty damn good. It was just a feel-good mission.
I mean, it was rock band into golf game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we like
Into
parachuted
high-speed
out
cars.
to a car to drive around. Yeah, it was great stuff.
That mission seemed almost too absurd to be our mission.
It was great. I love when it goes absurd like that. I relish in it.
Oh, I enjoy it as well, but it was still absolutely absurd.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh god, I can imagine Ziegler doing the same to choose dark, making it super intelligent. And then he only did that because he needed someone to play cards with and to come
Yes.
What did you do to Hayabusa?
That is not my
Hayabusa
name
creates
anymore.
a drone.
That was my slave name.
Exactly, it's my slave name.
My name is now Fluffles, because I am fluffy.
Fluffles.
It's not
So fluffy.
Now it's snowballed because that my fur is so white.
So, since we control my discussion questions, the last thing I've written on here is thank you all for playing.
Aww.
It was a joy.
Thank you for
Moments
DMing.
like these could come with just any group of players. And I think too many DMs nowadays don't take their players' contributions into consideration enough. In a game like this, you guys really make... I mean, I can prepare the sites and the missions and such, but you guys... You make them come alive, and you are the ones who add all the flavor, and many of the cool ideas come from you.
thank you
And
for
I'm very happy to have enjoyed some Shadowrun with you, because it's a system I've always wanted to play and never really had the chance. Now we've played in that world, and I think we've played Shadowrun. I think we have really touched on a lot of the things that make Shadowrun, and I think we have enjoyed the flavor of it to a high extent. The system, of course, focuses not as much on the same things as Shadowrun does, but I think with a group of players like you guys, I think this has given us more freedom and probably also more breathing room from a very systems, very mechanics, very equipment-based game such as Shadowrun. Overall, I'm glad I played with you guys, and if I would go back, I would do it again.
Oh.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been
Thanks.
very, very fun.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh god, it's like come to the office and then Gopher's there, and you're like, we need another player, me and Gopher. And that's when you make Hayabusa very intelligent, and Gopher is a really sore loser.
Just indie game.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was going if only we have a group hug.
Yeah, exactly. Virtual group hug.
Paint that.
Yes. Virtual group hug of all of us.
And so ends Shadowrun. 1,000 Cuts. Didn't really come up much. Was a reference to the Nanoswarm. Turns out that wasn't something you guys really wanted to investigate. You were more like, well, I guess that's Fragmeister's fucking problem. Let's go somewhere some fucking money.
It was more like Fragmeister. Whatever. Fuck
it
that
was
guy.
also, you cannot name a thing before you know where people take it, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the end. That's all of the program. We have time to just talk about stuff still, but I am done being your GM for this. So, yeah.
Well,
that's the end.
The end is nigh.
that's all, folks. Let's see here. All right, so the 1,000 Cats was a reference to the Nano Swarm. In one of the absolute first missions we did was some like spooky urns with dead ash in them that was used to summon spirits, and we found a clue of that much later on. So I thought to myself that seemed to be where the main story was supposed to go back then, but it never really brought back up again.
Oh yeah.
Was that something that we just missed? Because I don't think I ever recognized that there was a follow-up to it.
No, the story as such wasn't made as a full story. It was made as a series of important people of Berlin, each with their own, the thing that they wanted, basically. The game, Space in the Dark, and that's how I played it, of course, suggests this is how you DM, really. You have the different important people and factions in the area, and they each have a progress clock, which is the thing they want to do, numbered by a number of slots, generally many, for how well they do. Then every cycle, every 2 or 3 sessions, you roll for them with their strength and see how far along their goal they can be, and then you contextualize that in the game. That gives you then the missions, basically, because these people have things that they want to have done, and they have resources. If they have resources to spare enough to hire Shadowrunners, they'll put out a mission for you. Then you choose to aid them, and if you're successful, or whatever you do, or if you hurt somebody or whatnot, that then impacts those clocks, right, to see who gets what they want. The urns there were stolen by Aslant, as technology, in order to have one. They wanted to kill Fragmeister because he knew too much. He was a loose end, and he also Zitlan. He gave Zitlan a lot of lip. And dragons don't take lip, so he was a dead man at that point. He used Japanese urns because he hoped that it would point Evo when they tried to find the trail of Fragmeister. It would point them towards Renraku. But it was his doing, most certainly. He had similar plans for you guys, but you turned out to be ever useful to him, and he never ended up acting on any of it.
Oh yeah, I remember you said they were Japanese.
They're like
urns.
funeral urns, like burial
Now, of course,
urns.
the Japanese would never do that, but he didn't culturally think of them that far.
That's
He was arrogant, if you will.
that is arrogant, and it's very racist.
So was Mr. Zitlan a dragon?
Yeah.
It's a
What?
feathered
Well,
serpent.
Real name was Ixtli.
Oh wow.
Yeah, feathered serpent. Hence why in
No, a
letter.
quattle, or whatever they're called.
They
And
are dragons, but feathered serpent type.
I'm just saying, guys, the reason we lost should be pretty obvious. Never deal with a dragon.
That's why in Vice's
But our
letter
deal with the
she
dragon
was-
here actually paid off quite well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you said that.
For him, at least.
I mean, for us too, and I mean all.
in the letter.
He
Vice-
didn't have a reason to kill you all. But if you had, basically it was pre-decided that he hates loose ends, and if you had not been in a 3 with him, at the end of things, he would have tried to kill you all by having pieces of you, like collecting blood or whatnot from whatever he could, and then doing a ritual that probably would begin weakening you or hurting you, maybe forcing you to have a last chance to do a run to stop it, or, well, die.
Did he in the end get any pieces of us?
No, I never made a clock for him to gather.
Well,
So
of Vice, I think yes,
he never
actually.
got to the level where he thought it was important to
Oh,
gather it.
well, you
Well,
know,
Vice-
it's
I mean, Vice now probably. There is a
Vice,
piece.
yes.
Oh yeah, when you work for S Technology, you don't not work for S Technology.
Well,
Was
she
there
did it
any more
once.
dragons that we ever dealt with?
No,
Except Mr. Johnson
Him.
at the end.
and Lofir's distant influence.
Yep.
But,
Alright.
that was the extent of that. Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I think we picked the correct team then, because obviously you want to be in the dragon team.
He could have been a mean, had you gone a different way, a mean adversary. All things considered. S Technology can be real fuckers. And had
Which
you,
is-
for example, allied with Evo, they would have been on your shit list.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily for them, Eva was such dicks. And
Yeah.
and Mr. Zitlan had the good taste of actually being quite polite with us.
Well, he didn't fear you, which is a good start. Meeting you, talking to you, than going by himself. He didn't need protection, so to speak.
Who does blood magic us to death if we
Or
try
did
to-
he really
Yeah,
need to?
the thing is that's one of the things I always thought were odd, because all of the other contacts always had like huge bunkers or like tanks with them, or didn't ever want to meet us face to face. But he was the only one who was like, yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I emphasized it.
I thought I just deduced that he had a lot of spirits protecting him. So I was like, we don't know shit about spirits. They're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be a
also the
huge. They're gonna be a huge
just-
thing in front of me, ready
It's
to
like
eat my face.
10,000 angry spirits on him. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
No,
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
why I was like, that's
But,
probably why, because his bunker is basically a huge building filled with spirits ready to kill us the moment we do something
I think it
dumb.
was.
You also could find out that Fragmaster was hired by them, of course, by finding tapes of him just being creepy about Sophia Starlight on his personal computer system. Put there as part of the payment for the job. Was given some time with her to be a super creep. Because really, she was just an asset. I mean,
And really, was she a real person?
she was a real person, though she was a manufactured person from a Shadowrunner who was taken in by them and remade.
The guy that other Shadowrunner we ran across was telling the truth.
I think you knew, though.
Mm.
We just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
That was why she was somewhat oblivious to a whole lot of things, because she was on a need-to-know basis of the world, if you will.
Keeps you sweet and innocent. If you don't know the atrocities of the world, you won't be distraught by it all.
She was discarded when she became too old.
Of course. Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Look at all the extra gear that we got as well.
So in that, lots of plots were certainly happening. The big ones, of course, being the AI infiltration of Evo. There was gonna be some conflict with them and Renraku, and that was much more definite, even if you guys didn't mess it up for them. There was the as technology, Mr. Sitlan's desire for the nanoswarm, and him trying to set up more beef between Evo and Renraku. And then there was the Ares testing areas that were gonna break down because that's a stupid idea.
Evo knew that it wasn't Renraku. They knew it was us.
Well, when you got further along, yeah, because they spent enough time investigating it without being hampered in their investigation to find it out.
Mm.
That's the thing. How well things went sort of also came from somewhat dice rolls in order to keep the system sort of dynamic. You know?
That was kind of frustrating sometimes. When we went to that with the bugs, and I kept rolling really well to make a new wall, and then you just rolled really well, and my perfect wall was destroyed, and I made another perfect wall, and then you destroyed it. I was like, for God's sake, I just critted making that wall.
Well,
Remember, I pulled out the door of the cell and then jammed it.
Oh, yeah.
And every time
it's like I rolled a fortune die.
Yeah.
See how lucky they were.
They got lucky.
It was frustrating that I kept making this wall and you just kept
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shall
Those
bear back.
dumb bucks.
Who was Horizon planning to replace Sophia Starlight with? Because they had a plan to replace Sophia Starlight.
Yeah.
Like,
They had another girl, I don't remember her name though, just off the top of my head. She's in here somewhere. They never paid too much attention to it, so I haven't really done much with them for a while because they have not been.
Was Horizon using just as nefarious techniques of like making them an artificial person?
Shadowrunning, yeah, they were not as creepy, no. But they were sort of not really doing that many bad things, really. They wanted her gone, they wanted to control the media, and later on they wanted to basically send you guys on information gathering trips out to figure out information and then publicize it in the press. You began being disliked by them, though, and rather wanted by them, to the point of you not really getting missions from them anymore, though. But that would have been their thing, basically. Sent you guys out to gather, or like find, for example, another way to get the Ares to the Ares location could have been through their investigations of going to search and then them publicizing it. You know, sort of investigative work, if you will.
Fair, I suppose.
Yeah. I certainly enjoyed the game.
Yeah, it's an interesting system. I was skeptical in the beginning, but
I'm very skeptical.
The system has won me over, and I like it quite a bit.
Because I remember early on you had some real skepticness about certain features.
Yes, and I'm still. It's not a perfect system. There are problems here.
There is no such thing.
I will add that this is a somewhat flawed conversion. It certainly isn't as good as the actual system. I'll add that. If you get the chance, try out Blades in the Dark. It's a good system by itself as well. But I had a hankering for some Shadowrun, and so we went and got this like amateur made fan conversion. It some features, like for example the arsenals and such, don't fit as well here as they do for street gang warfare in a sort of electropunk city. But all in all, things worked out, and I think the kinks in the system didn't bother us too much.
It's a very different system, and it's nice to break it up with something else from time to time.
So, where did you play Blades in the Dark system though? I found like a supplement that was like vigilantes. Great fun. Like a group of vigilantes in a city like that. Yeah, but I got my Shadowrun fix. And got to play some sort of Blades in the Dark.
Yes.
Sort of.
All good things.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions currently. I might come up with something later, but for now, I'm sort of...
What hitbox are we on?
Yeah, about to say, do either of the chats have questions, I suppose, for us? Because they often have some interesting
it's called
questions.
Mixer now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Mixer now.
TV.com.
That's the channel link for the moment, stream link.
All these renaming, because I haven't actually looked at the chat most often. When I DM, I'm usually too busy.
I haven't looked at the chat this much for this entire game that much, actually. I've been focusing a lot on just kind of trying to think of different solutions to the problems you were throwing at us.
So I'll go here and just click to view and whatnot.
Because since it was so freeform, you know,
I kind of have to pay attention a little bit.
I couldn't just look at, I have this spell and it's not useful right now. It's I have this. How can I twist the skill to work the situation without of course breaking the...
There was a lot of arm solutions. I noticed, lots of solutions involving shoes, arms.
Yep.
There was a lot of punching it. This is certainly true.
Yes, arms solved a lot of problems.
There was also a lot of explosive solutions.
Yeah, that's part for the course.
I'm just noting. Like, how many things did you blow up?
Quite a few.
I don't even remember. A lot. Lots and lots of explosions.
Then again, how many times did we hack the camera system? I suppose.
Yeah, hacking and explosions and just very, very loud night shift, really.
And again, in my defense, I was I was the deck. I was supposed to be making these stealth checks and these hacking checks. That's kind of
no, I'm not blaming you.
As the same as Chu was supposed to have been murdering this, or sword, or whip.
If anyone in the chat has any particular questions, now is the time to ask.
About for Manikai or for any of us.
Yep.
But
we're still around for tonight.
I'm gonna close the rest of this stuff. I really need the reel.
Oh no, I can't watch the stream. It's for mature audience only.
Sorry, Tina.
Yeah, sorry.
It happens.
Not let into your own stream.
I put that for Shadowrun because we swear a lot in Shadowrun.
I just have it constantly on my channel because we swear a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
We get angry, and
Yeah.
you know.
I will
just-
say I've
Angry
gotten
than others.
pretty good at saying cheesing is my onions instead of other stuff.
You know what really grinds my gears?
It grinds my gears.
Extremely running out of time.
So, was it as sad as you guys thought it would be?
Nah.
The end here.
Sad? No.
But my girlfriend died.
Well, it was of your own making.
All right.
Yeah, really. It's
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
So,
It's so tragic, Dark.
question came in from Azakawa. Did Azure Web alter her memories about the night shift for better or worse, or did she save them to be some sort of fuel or a way to learn from mistakes?
She. That's actually a bit of a good question, given the amount of power she would have had over her own brain after the cyber virus.
Like did she edit them into something better, something worse, or did she keep them protected from her own mind?
I imagine partly so she didn't become. I imagine almost into kind of a not wanting to be tempted by it at all. She may have almost encrypted those and just locked them away.
For
And
her not to even access?
So yeah, it would take. So she would have to go through significant effort to access it. But she couldn't just do it on a whim, even if she wanted to.
It's like recessed memories.
Mm-hmm. Like if she really wanted to, she could spend time to decode her own thing. But
Of course she could. No one else could, but she could.
She knows there was a reason she put them away.
Yeah.
So that if she found them again, she wouldn't feel bad about killing them. Or something.
Oh, she's like Gladys.
I think part of it is also for the very slight hope that maybe she might feel better at some point. That everything that happened. That if she can forget everything, maybe she won't be so damn pissed off all the time.
She doesn't. You meet her again, you're like, I heard what happened to Angel, I'm sorry. And she's like, I know of no one by that name.
Who are you?
She deleted it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so sad. Heartbreaking.
She left everything behind.
You're so tragic, Dark.
That's the sad part. Alright, now I'm sad. God
It
damn
fits her though.
It
She had
so well.
like one more
was-
trauma, and she would have been mentally unable to function as a person.
Yeah.
She was the most edgelord of the party. So.
Edgelord.
Pushed the limits of. Should I shoot him with a shotgun? What about run to his face and shoot him with a shotgun? You know,
Yeah, I'm gonna get right up into.
right up
This
in
guy's
whatever
face.
is going on. And,
I'm gonna go up to this super deadly insect spirit and shoot it with my shotgun.
danger
while my
is
friend's
a
underneath
positive
it.
to any situation.
And it succeeded most of the time.
Yeah, it required Vice like nudging her aim up a bit.
Oh yeah, that's true. If it hadn't been for Vice, I had to take a free wound.
Yeah,
Imagine, maybe even worse for you later.
it would have sucked. Yeah,
I think it could have
May
killed
not.
you technically.
I think it would have killed her. The crash would
Because
have
then you
killed
get
her.
another 3 wound and push up to 4.
That's true. It would have killed me at that end.
That's true.
Oh, good God!
Dark would have not Dark.
So
What
disappointed. So disappointed.
Azure Web would have been the death of Chew.
Oh,
Which is
come
not
on.
a surprise.
Oh, come on, we've had attentions where Jonas as well has put people in the line of fire.
Oh yeah.
I did no.
Explosives.
Never happened.
Nonsense.
Safe.
You know,
Save
Isaac
explosives.
did paint a very nice picture where I kick away a freaking grenade.
It's true. It's such a
But
good.
he knew that.
There was
He knows.
dealing with ghouls in the
In the sewer.
sewer.
Dude, I bet we could have done that very differently. We could probably have
Probably.
bought the gloves.
Probably.
What?
And
Be
they
like,
will
oh, I
solve
actually brought
everything.
lots and lots of meat. Just leave here. Yeah,
That costs
Looking-
money.
yeah, a grenade is free.
Looking
I
at
don't
one of
know,
the
I just freaked
pictures.
out when you said they're ghouls and they eat people. I was like,
One of the
She was like, they do what?
one
Oh
of the
my
pictures
goodness.
reminded me of a session where Jonas wasn't here again, and Vice was busy talking to some hacker upstairs while you two were gallivanting.
epitaph.
And we somehow managed to. Vice somehow managed to aid you while talking to a guy while over comms while you were downstairs.
Without making him suspicious.
Yeah, without making
Yeah.
it suspicious, and the guy was
Got in
totally
there,
cool with it.
said you were looking for someone who turned out to be there.
Yeah.
But when we were just bluffing who the person was completely.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so
Literally what happened was we found out there was only one way in which we had a guard, and there was literally only one case, underground bunker. It was like, okay. So we went up and we bluffed with actually just pulling basically the name of some decker she hated out of the cloud.
Yeah.
some
And it
red-haired
happened to be
elf
her.
that once told her she was a noob.
Yeah. And he was there, and it was awkward, and then Vice shared drinks with him, while Azure Web went off and did some crazy stuff with the database, and
Sabotaged their systems as revenge.
yeah.
Well, her
So-
excuse for being there was that she had found a problem she couldn't deal with herself and needed tech help.
yeah, yeah.
So
And they were, of course, they were like, "Oh yes, of course, you need our help."
I mean, honestly, they should have been more.
Idiots.
Honestly, it should have just made them suspicious.
It's so good. And then you guys were like I can't remember what you had to do. You had to like convince your way out of something. Like you walked into a room.
We had a great moment come up where we walked into a room. There was a guy there.
Oh
and
yeah.
basically we had to pose. The reason we were down here in this restricted area was we posed as we were like trying to find somewhere secret to like make out and stuff.
Yeah. And Vice was like, no, this is how you do it while talking to someone.
Yeah.
Giving advice, giving acting advice over comm.
So good.
She was like, took Ezra's hands. Oh, sorry, I thought we could make out in here.
Yeah.
And the guy just really awkwardly like, okay, then
That's
give me
so-
Hey, you
Good
shouldn't
session.
do it down here then.
Well, he was just like, oh, okay, and just kind of
I think he
awkwardly
left, didn't he?
left us there.
Yeah, he was like, oh, yeah. Go
He wasn't
by
going to stop
all
us. He was like, you didn't,
means. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
young love. And that's one of my favorite acting cases.
That was when he called True Warrior a street sham, and she was like, "What did you call me?" So I'm a street sham. So you just run around the forest naked? And he was like, "Sometimes."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, it doesn't look like there's any more questions.
no, I
Is
think.
Jonas even here listening to what we are telling him?
What, who?
Listening.
Well, he's very quiet.
I mean, I don't have much feedback.
It was
know,
so
wasn't
fun.
there.
No.
I wasn't there, so.
We were
You know,
telling you about it.
We were
though.
telling you about it.
Yeah.
Still thought you might be entertained by that.
It's
story.
all very impressive.
It's more entertaining. than impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
but
I suppose that's
The end of
that's
an
Shadowrun.
I
era.
think that's it. Yeah.
All right.
I think
it
that's
was
the end
it
of
a bit
Shadowrun.
ago.
The end of an era and end of a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you all for watching. Thank you
Yep.
all for playing, and thank you one for DMing.
Yeah.
Thank.
And
Already said thank you.
Yeah.
and
Um,
again, thanks for all the fan art, Asakawa. It's very nice. And yeah, D&D is gonna move into the Saturday slot, and that's what we're gonna have for a while now.
Until that's done. then we'll see.
Until that's done,
Well,
then something else will come along, no doubt.
I think 13th Age is going to finish before
because
Yeah.
yeah,
that, and
yeah,
then
most
something's going
This
to fill
whole,
that.
this whole, campaigns on a conveyor belt here.
It is.
I got a bunch, guys.
We do.
Like, I have stuff to DM for the next couple of years.
This was
So-
my last.
Well, luckily,
This was
was
your
my
last.
and no, well, no, not. Well, this is the
Tina's
last.
done.
She's done with our
done.
shit.
Fuck this shit.
No, it's not like that.
Never
It's
speak
just
to you guys again.
there was the now I'm not playing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, we're gonna
Well.
do Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh, I'm totally up for that.
Tina and I gonna do a one-player game of.
We just
what's it
completed the vampire
called? Force
one.
and Destiny.
Oh, the Jedi one. Yes, I would like to try that at some
Because
point.
Tina gets to be a Jedi. Because
Yay!
explain how there's
Jonas,
one and not like
you-
6.
You and I can do that, Jonas.
Just,
Just you
we'll
and
have
me.
we'll have a competing Jedi game.
Dark
Oh,
side,
yeah.
light side.
Oh, dude! I just completed my vampire one, and we were going to do a mission, and we were basically there's a big chance that a lot of my companions were gonna die, and I really cared for all these NPCs. I didn't want any of them to die, so I just told them we shall all meet here. And then I went to talk to the guy I was supposed to kill, and he gave me a really good deal. And I told all my companions to go into this huge metal box, and they were locked in there. And then I went and killed the main guy alone. So that's how I keep my friends safe. I lock them in a huge metal prison, and then I take care of all the dangerous stuff. Were they pissed? Yeah, but I was gone for 3 months, so you know. When I
That's
came back,
creepy.
they missed me.
That's creepy, but all right.
They got out. It was just humans keeping them in there. They were fine. But you know, it was hilarious. That's how I keep my friends safe.
But yeah,
Lauren,
we'll see. We have talked loosely about playing Vampire. It's certainly something I have played before and like quite a bit. It can be done very well.
Victorian setting for it.
Oh yes, Victorian Vampire.
Yeah,
oh
we have
God,
to
the accent.
Yes.
Thing set up for it.
go. I'm not gonna do an accent. I'm just gonna
Vampires in
offend.
London.
Yes.
I'm-
I say.
I'm the prince
of this
place, so you would just do as
I
say. If I think I would just offend the British nation, so I'm not.
Oh, hello.
Jonas does that on a regular basis.
You need a newspaper,
Yeah, but-
son.
You know
Boy,
that's
I'm ever
Jonas,
so hungry.
and that's Manikai. So you know I'm not
Ever
gonna
so
do that.
It's terrible.
But dude, I had a lot of fun in Vampire. It
We
was
have
funny, and it because I was only one player, I had so many NPCs, and I was like, oh my god, I love you guys so much.
we
Keep
have
it safe.
also been inundated with requests to play
Oh.
different systems that haven't really relayed. I just kept it to myself because I don't want to influence anyone. But if we ever find like, we don't know what system to play, there's a bunch in our
Cthulhu one.
inbox of people being like, you should really play this, or have you considered? And like,
Yeah.
blah, it's just a ginormous pile of it.
Recently, I've been looking at like Burning Wheel. I'm trying to
Yes, that has certainly been mentioned. I've also
read, 'cause
been
it's a
recommended
Shadowrun.
something.
Like it's a Game of Thrones replacement, really.
I've also heard Infernus mentioned quite a number of times,
I would check that out.
which is
Pendragon is something I've
I
looked
thi-
at. 'cause
I-
Yes,
thought that would be
Pendragon,
great
that sounds
for
awesome.
both Jonas and Halldamir. I just look at him and was like, yeah, you two would love that, I think.
yes, I like
Aryan
Pendragon.
Knights.
Better
It-
Green
it's-
Forest does not
quests for
exist.
Grail and whatnot.
Yes,
What-
hot
One of the
Gathering
things
glory.
you have mentioned is the little nightmares one. That sounds
Yes.
amazing.
Oh, it's so
Oh.
creepy. It is the
Mm.
creepiest shit. I
Like,
certainly
yeah.
have. I have looked at that quite a number of times, being like, yes, I could do something really scary with this.
I could
Just
creep
concept
Tina
of
out to make sure she has nightmares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I could.
Yeah.
Tina's in here. I could creep her out.
There's
Yes.
there's also been one thing that
It's very good
every-
because I have such a receptive audience for that stuff.
Yeah.
So
every
it's very good.
every couple of weeks, I think at this point, we get another person saying that they miss A Song of Ice and Fire and they wish it comes back.
I
Lorian
originally
reminded me of that.
had tons of systems because that was the thing, and I think if I were to do something like that again, it'd be Burning Wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that system seems to be much more down to earth.
Yeah.
You know, not punching an elephant and getting away with that.
Lorian
Which is
specifically
also-
says
It has a dedicated talk to people system that doesn't just revolve around, okay, I roll all the dice and win. which really is a thing you need in a game like
Yeah, yeah. Lorian says
that. Yeah, it's very complicated.
that Hugo must return. So
But
Hugo,
Well,
I went so long, though.
basically we say don't hold your breath for it.
nope.
I would totally go for a creep fest. Horror is my jam.
You know, maybe
I live with Manikai. I'm okay.
maybe we'll have like a Shocktober mini
Oh, I
campaign
like
or
it.
something. Yeah.
Oh, but I don't like scary stuff.
Oh, it's gonna be so scary, Halldamir.
Oh, I love scary stuff.
I don't even like horror movies.
Meanwhile, everyone, wait, as I'm going to drag Halldamir to play fast. Try to play fast.
I'm not gonna get anything done because Tina's gonna just be crying all night.
Did you say drag me
I'm
to?
not gonna be crying. I'm
5
gonna be like,
minutes?
you have to go to the bathroom with me because maybe there's a fetus in the sink.
I'm going to get you to play all the fire
I will
moments.
say that it happened.
Oh my god.
I didn't want to go to the bathroom because there may be a fetus.
And there
in the
there might be. I mean, I would think
There
you
could
would know.
So if there is, that's just mine. Just leave it there.
I brought something home from the lab.
Like,
Don't worry about it.
They had leftovers. I mean, they were just gonna throw it out.
Leftover.
It won't stop crying. Can you do something
Leftover
about
fetus.
the fetus?
Oh my god. I think at that
What do you
point
call a
I'm gonna,
moral grey zone?
I'm gonna end the recording and the stream because this is getting somewhere that I don't, you
I
know.
mean, people probably stopped listening at this point. We said
YouTube
it's
might
done
take
like
us down
twice.
at this
So,
point.
it's one of those moments we leave it like there for 20 minutes. Like, no, there really isn't anymore.
Yeah, we're at
That's
this
the thing.
point we're Marvel, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
After scene, and then you see suddenly Zeke looking at his radar, and going, "What is that?" Over the Atlantic Ocean.
And then we went
He looks up and says, "My God!"
And we went
And then that's the end. So, yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
D&D
Goodbye.
Avengers.
Bye, everyone.
Three
I need
campaigns.